I'll just make a point. Having the music on means I cannot understand a word you're saying.
Oh,
So
true.
I get music overlay on your voice.
You got music overlay coming through?
I did when you were just talking, but not now.
Okay, because I just turned the music down, so hopefully it means it won't be as strong coming through. I can hear it in my ears, so if you actually play it back later, you'll hear it, but it won't be as strong while we play.
Yeah, it's just the sound I'm getting is so low quality that any overlay on your voice just messes it up.
And I'm using a fantastic mic too, so the fact that Discord has completely screwed that part up.
That's really funny.
Fantastic, yeah.
This is worse quality than I'd get on a landline phone.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry about that. That brings
No,
us...
it's not your fault, it's Discord.
Yeah. We'll try to fix that. We may try Skype again soon if it's a couple of updates have fixed their bug of no group chat. So that's why we stopped using Skype. No group chat. So we're up to session number 90, or going by seasons, it's phase 2, season 5, episode 1. So each phase has 5 seasons. And each season has a variable number of episodes based on how much content you get through. And whether or not a Dragonborn has to rewind time on you more than once.
Like that would never happen.
Yeah, right.
Friday night got a visual of what happens when he does it. Because he said for the first time they didn't die before he rewound it.
They got to watch.
No, that they got to keep the memories of what happened previously.
Rewind.
So if they die before he rewinds, then they've got no memories of the events.
Yes.
That's funny.
So where we're going?
Okay, so we are up to session 90, as I said, for our Wrath of the Immortals campaign. We have 2 players online tonight. So first player up tonight is Paul.
Who is the blue-haired, pretty boy, elven diplomat, party healer, warlock, and head of his own clan. But then we're all becoming heads of various things.
We'll all be headhunted soon, I'm sure.
Yes, and relatively important in a metagaming point of view. So I'm going to try and stop not getting killed.
It's okay, I have a list of things for each characters to go through that I've written up over the last few weeks. So next person up online is Jeremy.
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing Dracula, the Atruaghin tribesman who started life as a watchman for the clan under a different name. However, that name got given away to a dragon and he got rechristened by Atruaghin himself as he took on the mantle. Well, he already had the mantle, but started to grow into the mantle, saving of the clans and chieftain of the new dragon tribe, which he now finds out is bigger than some clans. They don't think it's got different variations of the dragon tribes amongst them.
Yes. Although individually you're the youngest.
No.
Yeah. No Dragonborn is more than about a decade old.
That's what I mean. So I'm the eldest.
You're the eldest. I'm saying as a clan, you're the youngest.
Oh, right. So yes. Like I said, it's a new clan or a new tribe.
Depending on how much time has changed.
Indeed.
Well, there is that as well. If time gets changed and they actually got born 50 years ago, then well, hey, things happen.
Well, certainly we know that Drazel has lived for more periods than his 360 days.
Oh yes.
That is true. And coming to the table we have Kesley. I kept wanting to say Lonnie.
There we go. Well, I am playing Lonnie, so she is the human from the Mystara tribe, fighter, weapons master, sailor, Officer of the Iranian Navy, Standard Bearer of Farewell, all kinds of awesome titles. Lottie the Undying. Yeah, she is the tank of the group, usually just looking for anything that she can to help out her fellow people, super loyal to those she considers dear, and yeah, that's Lonnie.
Not too bad.
I was just thinking of this. Lottie, Makai Tribe, vote Lottie for Makai Tribe Queen to 1020. when she gets around to that.
Well, it's not actually a voting.
That's what I mean. So it's funny.
We'll have to come up with some more titles for you as well.
Absolutely.
That's okay.
I was
She's
gonna
got.
say, with this break that we've now had, guaranteed Lonnie has a new title of some kind.
I've got some written down.
Yes.
Which then bring us to Jeff, and I was going to say Trollicus again.
It's actually totally this. You put an R in my name, but that's alright.
Hey, it's better than me missing letters of other people's names.
I'm just gonna keep adding those.
Vyation Gambler,
Wait.
Dark Dodger, Gambler, man about town. Pretty much that's all you need to know about him, and he takes risks. He's a risk taker.
I like it. Well, I mean, with each level, can we just add another letter to your name?
No.
Come on!
Hey, I did have someone say, when I asked him what his name was Give Me 5. So he was called Give Me 5 for about 10 sessions.
Love it. It's perfect.
And I had someone say surprise me for a name, and I called him Saprisma.
I like it. It's a good one.
As long as you're not so not assuming this thing.
But that worked well for Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's so close to...
Yeah, sounds
Generous of you to offer him life to go to the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it could always be Sir not appearing in this film.
yeah. That's
Always true. Always valid.
And in the kitchen we have Ariadne, who will come and tell us about her character shortly. But while...
It's the white dragon with the jazz wings. Someone pick up the white dragon with the jazz wings and wave her around. Yee! Nicely done. You both remember what the coffee home and eat her plant cheerleader. Let's go back.
I'm sure it will look funny in the camera later on.
Absolutely. It'll be great.
Thank you.
Okay, so going through each of your characters one at a time. Lull, because he was up first. That's why I picked Paul to be the first one to actually speak up about his character.
Yeah.
So, Paul, Lull has received an award of service from Tyranny. So officially, because of the award of service, you are considered a Sir automatically if you're wearing the award.
Oh.
People will always treat you with a level of respect. You have been granted a domain in Archeologist near Selenica on the road south of the Alfheim border, matching up roughly with where the Alfheim people wanted you to expand to. And so you get 1 hex in the Canal Bath borderlands with Alfheim. So you basically get 8 miles to your name.
Nice.
Yes.
So in the last 12-ish months since you last played your character, with Alfheim mobilizing for war to deal with the Master, they have been calling on your clan to fill some of their security holes because you just seem to have people when they need it.
Right.
And as they're part of your clan, they've been getting noticed because you're under the scrutiny of the other clan leaders, and because they're going off to war, they don't really want a green, unseasoned clan leader taking to the field with them. They're leaving you behind to mind the fort while they go fight.
Okay.
Ouch.
No, it's valid. I've helped organize a significant, well, actually a war, but I haven't run one. not going to use people's lives as practice.
And when you've got people who are experienced in warfare going out to war, they'd rather the person learn to manage troops on a smaller scale before throwing them in the thick of battle, where the wrong move could mean the end of the entire army.
Oh yes.
So on top of this, Lull has received certification as an ambassador of Darkin. Just that, not an ambassador to a specific nation, you're just a ambassador who they may call upon to adjudicate as needed.
Ambassador at large.
That's actually very useful to me. It's something similar to what I actually wanted, so that's great.
And Lull has received a commission of commander in the Darkin army. So you do have the rank of commander, which means if needed you can order troops about, though you will be held accountable for what troops you do order.
Yes. Well, this is where it's sort of okay. Sergeants and lieutenants, tell me what I'm doing.
And it's also
I'll point you. You make it go.
It also means that unless someone is very highly ranked, they can't Shanghai you into doing other duties.
Also a very good point.
So with that, you've also received a message from Drazzle saying that if you enter Gallantry before the year 1018, you will die.
Right. That's a few years away, isn't it?
That is quite a few years ago. You are 1009.
Yeah. Make a note of that one.
And he can't help you again.
Oh.
As in, can't help you again if you go to the election before 1018?
Yes, that is correct.
As in, if you go there, you're not coming back, he's not going to give you...
Oh no, I realize. Yeah, I got that one. It's sort of... Yeah, okay. Obviously he's already saved me from something at least once. He just can't do it again. Fair enough. Considering the battle against Moorcroft was what 8th of 8 attempts or something like that.
He did say that. He hasn't told you how many times he saved you from Gallantry. He's just saying he can't do it again.
Yes, well, I'll quite happily accept that one.
Okay, so next one is Lani. So Lani has received an award of service from Darkin. So while you're presenting, wearing the award, everyone will refer to you as Sir.
Hell yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
But basically, it's a non-gender Sir, as in respect, because referring to anyone differently is considered a sign of disrespect.
Yeah.
Is that technically a title you haven't picked up yet?
It is an award of service
I
title.
told my brain to stop. But yeah.
So, now when she wears this award, she is now Sir Lana.
Yep. And you've been given a wharf mooring in the port city of Athenos, which is towards the Orendi Islands, and your own warehouse space located on the wharf.
What time was it?
Athenos, Athenos. So it's dedicated for your personal use, but you can charge people to use it if you wish to.
Gotcha.
It's the equivalent of having a domain, except for you it is a parking spot for whatever form of transportation you wish to park there.
Yeah.
That's still warm enough. I obviously heated it up and I forgot.
Yeah, it should be warm enough.
It's your boat park.
And so you've also received a commission of commander in the Darkin army.
Yep.
So that is also another title.
Yep.
And you also got a note from Drazzle saying if you enter Gallantry before the year AC 1018, you will die. And he can't save you.
Oh, take. So just don't go to Blanche. Don't.
Then we move over to Trolicus.
All of this.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We'll get
he
there.
does learn it eventually.
Does it?
So he got an award of service from Darkin.
Okay.
So he's also considered a sir. Which I'm sure for him is a surprise.
Yep.
And Trolicus has received warehouse space in the cities of Athenos, Akoros, Karagulain, Selenica, and Darkin City, which are 5 of the 6 main cities of Darkin. They didn't give you any warehouse space in the 6th one because currently the 6th one doesn't exist anymore.
The one was trashed by the master.
Yes, that was the 6th city.
You can have all the space you want there.
You just got to win it back.
Well, the people of Darkin aren't the sort of people who give false promises. So, if they say you've got a space, they've made sure you have a space available to you.
Not necessarily how big it is.
It's 2 foot, but 2 foot, but it's space.
Bit like
You've got a lovely square meter on the moon.
you got a place where you can have your coffin.
Or in your case, you could turn them all into bolt holes, or become a merchant, or...
Why would I become a merchant?
Because in Darkin, the merchants are the people who run the place.
Merchants are just what pirates call themselves when there's war around.
Yeah.
I thought merchants is what pirates called themselves when they were robbing you legally.
Exactly. No, they don't have to rob you legally. They just... Till you figure out you're being robbed, they're merchants. After that,
They
they're
just have
pirates.
to. They just have to not get caught repeatedly.
If nothing else, you could rent the space out for others.
There is that too. But you now have a bunch of places that are in your name.
Even anything stock and supplies.
Well, they don't have anything in there at the moment. That's completely up to you.
I did have a question for you, but I mean...
You can ask your question now.
My large size, is that white dragon? The air in comparison to the miniatures next to it up on the shelf? Is that,
I think so.
that the medium?
Well, that might be huge.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
I think that's huge.
That might be large.
Think more like the owlbear
on
on
the
the level
bottom,
below it.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Actually, our bell would be large.
The owlbear on this level below will be more like it. So, going to Calcrix.
That's medium. So large would be one up from that.
Yep.
See, so I now need another miniature. I need the large miniature. Because we had this for when Calcrix was a baby.
Yeah.
We got this for Calcrix up until last game, and now I need one up from that. So doing pretty good. Anyway, sorry, we're up to me. What am I doing?
So, Calcrix has received an award of service from Darkin,
Cool.
and also is given the title Sir.
Can I have the title last one?
You want to compete with the Master?
No. Okay.
If you want, you can say
Lady. If you want,
You can correct them as much as you like.
Okay.
And most people are not going to object to a dragon looking down at them saying, I want to be called Lady. It's like, alright.
Lady. Just want to be more interesting than so, but that's okay.
But the award of service, when Sharon gives you the title Sir.
That's okay. I was just trying to be cute.
Mm-hmm.
Either of which I succeed at
As
often, but I
always.
try.
No,
Thank you.
Always keep it buddy.
So Calcrix has been given a 8-mile region on the mountains bordering Karamikos.
8 miles.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
In the Treldar borderlands.
You said, 8-mile region on where?
In the Treldar borderlands.
Troldar Borderlands. Thank you.
And Calcrix can go between large and medium size. So basically, so she can keep the medium size
So still useful.
and can even change into a dragonborn of medium size. Though in that case, she doesn't gain flight.
No, yeah, I lose flight. But
Yeah.
as
but it does
the
mean-
saying
it does mean you
goes,
can- Yeah, doesn't mean you can come
Always
dancing.
be yourself, unless you can be a dragon, then always be a dragon. So, unless she has to be something else, she's happy to be a dragon. Medium for most cases. Now, do I have to, when I am medium versus to large and come into contact, is that going to cost me an action to change size?
Yes.
Something to keep in mind.
It's not a quick thing.
Does it have a significant difference on my attacks though? Like, if I try to stay medium to save myself an action, would I be better off spending that action becoming large?
It would increase the size of the dice.
Okay.
So the dice go up one
So
time.
it's a good idea to spend that action
physical
sometimes.
combat. You're going hand to hand. Large is better.
The downside to
Yeah.
that is you've got to have the space to explode out, and you become a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Also makes it a lot easier. Somebody grapples you, you just go, yeah, I'll go here. Then it's with damage you.
Fortunately, dragons don't believe in body shaming, so getting bigger and heavier is not a problem.
Well, it's the thing you can fly over a medium-sized, land on a ship, then grow into a larger dragon and sink the ship on purpose.
This sounds like a strategy I want to use. So it was Trolldar?
Trolldar.
Trolldar Borderlands.
Yeah.
And I now assert. Thank you.
And the Queen of Darkness has sent a contingent of priests to help look after your new space.
Thank you.
And Calcrix also receives a commission of commander in the Darkin army.
Okay. I like command.
So she can't be told what to do, because they value their officers and they don't really want them eaten by dragons.
Well, that's fair.
What I really like is that last session she said to the Queen of Darkness, I feel like I'm too small, I can't make a difference in the world. So the Queen of Darkness solved it very literally and made me bigger.
Yes.
Yes.
And for when we get Clarissa back, she also gets an award of service for Darkin.
She's Sir Nere.
Yep. And she gets a domain in the same region as Lull. Also gets a commission of commander, and has been asked to keep quiet about the trees and ley lines failing. Being told that the elves are taking the last of the life force from their trees of life to create buds to grow elsewhere, which will kill the forest.
Where's all the eco warriors when you need them?
Here, right here.
Let's stop the others.
Well, if you stop the elves and the master reaches those trees, everyone dies.
Yup.
That
That's a
is
bad
the
time.
master's target,
That's why they're like,
Because that would be making
because the trees no longer have the ability to protect themselves.
Yep.
So instead of leaving defenseless artifacts just waiting to be taken over, they're moving them.
okay.
And the only way they can move them is to transfer the life into a bud of that tree and let the original host die.
They grow somewhere else.
Very solemn time.
Yes.
And for them, that is a very hard choice, because they've had about 2 generations in the forest. And for elves to have had 2 full generations in the forest, they've been there about 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So for most humans, they've always been there.
That just remind me of a Star Trek episode I was watching.
Oh, I was thinking Westworld, so there you go. Maybe it has some sci-fi themes to it.
And not forgetting anyone in particular, we're coming to Jeremy.
That's what I was going to question that. I'm just like, who's this guy?
So, Draknomir has also received an award of service with Darkin. So he's also considered a Sir. He has been given the commission of General in the Darkin army,
Ooh.
and has been told the other characters are assigned under his command for the purposes of orders and who can direct them in the military. So if someone actually has a one up, then another general can't take control of the other characters.
This means every time Calcrick sees Jeremy now, she stands to attention, and Beat does too.
With the puppet.
Yep.
Wait, instead of doing this, the whole. Oh, bad word.
I find it interesting that it was the Atruaghin clansman who is not one of the natural enemies for Darrakin that gets the title of general as opposed to the human fighter.
Well, the extra thing he's also been given is he's been given special dispensation to bring whatever forces from Atruaghin he can into Darrakin without repercussions.
Presumably solely for defence, but hey.
Well,
that's not dangerous.
that is not stated in particular because the people who gave you that power know that there's no way anyone can control what the Atruaghins do when they go into battle, because they are a force of nature. And if you deem it necessary to bring the Atruaghins into it, it is so bad that they have to say, do what you have to do, we'll fix it up afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. There might be a lovely plateau there that can be first to go to.
Even if there wasn't one beforehand.
So he's also received the note saying if he enters into Galantry before the year 1018, he will also die. Each of the characters did receive one of
I
those
was going to say,
too.
did I get that? Because we didn't mention that, so...
Sorry.
You know.
Yeah,
No, that's okay. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
It's me making sure that I remember to say it because sometimes my brain will skip over things. It is currently 1009.
Yeah, 1009 currently.
Was that
1018.
You not entered the Galantry?
Yes.
Cannot enter
So they've
Galantry.
only got to his name changed again.
So, can't enter Galantry
Mhm.
until 1018.
Yep.
So in 8 years, 10 years or something.
Jesus. Sorry.
And one of the things Trolicus also receives is paperwork showing he's serving in the armed forces as part of a special assignment signed by the Merchants Council, which will get you out of any services in the Tyranny army.
Cool.
There's a distinct use.
Signed by the Merchant Princes Council, meaning that the Tyranny army will not discount it in any shape or form.
And in Beta, you can just keep
And it's
going
been
up with-
backdated about 10 years.
Wow.
What the hell do we do for these guys?
So you're off the
We got
hook as
them
long as they don't
friends.
rescind that.
It's interesting the power that Darrakin has.
Oh yeah, he can do a lot of stuff.
It's not a place without power, because they are the people that keeps the peace everywhere. Okay. Yep.
If you talk about the fact that the awarded service, when it's displayed, you've got the title of Darrakin Eagle for you, so
Yep.
what form does that token take?
It is a ribbon, actually,
Okay.
because if it's a precious metal, I'd rather put it to some other form of use.
Okay, well, and certainly exactly what we're not used to wearing a metal item, so.
Well,
Yeah. I would wear it under your armour in case you get fireballed, however.
So where are we now? Physically?
now you are in the center of Darrakin, in Darrakin City, catching up with Redrian after spending time talking to each of your various families and contacts, because you were asked to try to gather what forces you can to help fight against the master.
On that, Martin, just want
Yep.
to check if, what you said here, Jack Demo talked to the client and said, yeah, hold the plateau, you don't really want to come in, and then he spoke to the Dragonborn in various places. Also mentioned that if he had time, he'd try and get to the Broken Lands and talk to the orc leader there. Did we work out whether we had time or not to do that at all? I'm happy to say no. That's
So
fine.
the Dragonborn say that they've had word with the king, but the orcs won't treat with humans
Okay.
because humans have persecuted them most of their life for generations,
Makes sense.
which is the Darkin specifically.
Yep.
That's the horde or something.
The Horde of Thar. So he has quite a few people at his disposal. So you've been brought into a meeting with Frederian where he's closed the doors and brought up a ward to protect you from any form of magical interference. And he does say to you, he can give you some secrets now that if he tells you, you might need to keep or risk being hunted down for the knowledge.
Are there secrets we need to know?
Okay.
They are secrets you need to know, but if you even tell your own god, you may find yourself hunted for the knowledge.
So
Okay.
we can't tell either our god.
It says he does not know which gods are affected or not, but he does know that the gods themselves don't want this knowledge known.
Caprix is fine with not telling the god, she just needs to know she can't tell the god. So as long as she understands only her own brain gets this information, she's okay with it.
And he asks, is everyone okay with knowing this?
Yep.
Or do they wish to step out now and forever be ignorant of what he's discovered in the last 5 years?
If we need to know, yes.
Hold on, I need to think about this one.
It is a very hard question. And you have a feeling that's why Drassel gave you that note.
What they go into?
If you've got this knowledge and you go into Galantry, you will die. Just for having this knowledge.
I'll take it because like I've got the whole 20 gods at the moment.
I was gonna say, Lonnie definitely gives, like, respect to her gods, but she doesn't necessarily call them into favor in any way.
The other thing is it sounds like a risk. So Dominicus is there.
After some debate on Lonnie's end as well, she'll say that, yeah, she feels comfortable staying.
How does Lull feel about it?
I can't not take into account that warlocks are based around the history skill,
Yep.
and I already have knowledge of this sort of thing in my head anyway. Adding more is useful to me, and I'm used to concealing it.
Yep. And how does Drachnomir go with the sounds of that?
Drachnima will be leaving the room with the statement of as much as Atruaghin has entrusted upon me and encourages to seek out all knowledge and understanding, I cannot make a statement that I will be able to maintain or keep that secret from Atruaghin any knowledge that I gain.
He just asks that you do not pass it on directly. If Atruaghin speaks to you about it, he has no problem with you, but you not seek to give it to him before he approaches you for it. Can you keep that promise?
I cannot guarantee that it will not be. He would not gain knowledge through me. So, either deliberately or inadvertently. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Raphael and going, he's self-centered enough, he's never going to ask me.
I'm happy that
He says it's about the metals and technologies you've been investigating, if that helps.
Well, there's that too.
so the Dracula will be on the business because
He does.
if others are here to receive the knowledge, then he's happy that in the future, if others explain that something is necessary due to the knowledge that they're about to gain, he'll be willing to actually follow that lead without further understanding or argument.
He nods at your choice and says, "But once you step out, he'll let the others know what is happening."
Yep. And you say, so Atruaghin will leave the room and get down to. Okay.
There is a banquet there waiting for you.
Wow. You probably won't necessarily feel like eating on the idea of having gone against the God concept of gaining knowledge and the God of knowledge, the idea of hiding knowledge from God.
Okay, so the first thing he does say is he has gathered a lot of knowledge in the last 5 years, and he has been able to determine that the power source of his starship that crashed many thousands of years ago is based in Galandry somewhere.
So we can't go to Galandry.
So unless you know exactly where to go, you have less than an hour once you set foot across the Galandrian border to reach the target and deal with it.
Okay, so if you can Galandry for more than an hour, we die.
Yes. And it's not for more than an hour. Once you've crossed that border, even if you leave again, you have less than an hour before the gods will hunt you
So
down.
we can go and find. So we've got to get to the ship or whatever we're going in there for.
Because they have wards around looking for that specific information.
So magical wards.
Yes.
So basically you're saying we can't go into Galandry
Until you know exactly where you need to go
Road.
and how to get there within an hour
1
of
hour.
reaching there. And he believes it's in the city centre, which means technically you could use the portal to get there, but if you did, you wouldn't be able to use the portal to escape.
No.
Okay, and we'd have to get to the location and do what we have to do within an hour before we die.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. Because more than one group are interested in what you're looking for.
And the gods don't want anyone fighting.
There are 3 groups of gods opposed to it. He says he's identified what's called the Fellowship of the Star, based on the gods Raphael, Rad, Koratiku. Sorry, just going to grab the book that actually has it in it, if I can remember where I stuck that book.
What's it called?
Telling you won't actually help because I think it's at the bottom of the pile.
The rules encyclopedia down here.
It's a
it's one of the skinny
yes.
books. There's some skinny books right there.
And I think it's one of the ones at the bottom. It is the one at the bottom.
How handy.
Then the last place we went
Because you stop looking once you find it.
I'm trying to figure out if this calculus is lopsided, if this medium calculus is sitting on this side of the head.
I'm guessing because maybe precision because that's okay.
Okay, so
I was out, it's just like that was on top of the dice.
So the Fellowship of the Star are made up of the gods Rad, who is based out of Galandry, Vanya, who's based out of the Haldanic territories, also has influence in many other places. Ka, who is the dinosaur god, the T-Rex god.
Yeah.
Raphael, who is based on in the Shadowlands. Irundel, who is one of the gods of trickery. Asterius, one of the gods of thought. Thanos, the god of fire, and Koratiku, one of the major gods of thought. So he says that with those group working, he has managed to find out that they are concentrated specifically with protecting Galandry. So just knowing that they exist and that they're protecting Galandry is enough for them to come hunting you. And they'll only hunt you if you cross into Galandry, because that's where they're concentrating their protection.
So we cross the Galandry on there that we know is economics.
Yes. Now, they are opposed by specifically what's called the Ring of Fire, which is Ixion, Ilsundel, and Alphatia, all gods of fire, and the goddess of love, Valerius. So Ixion is the sun god, who is the most powerful god of energy. No one sits above him. and he has ordered a genocide of the entire region. Every man, woman, and child is to be removed from existence. Not from Galantry, from the entire region.
Is that the world for all intents and purposes?
The known world, the area you're in,
I
the
would say
15 odd
the
nations of the
continent
area.
that we're on.
So all of your homelands.
Gotcha, so all of it.
So not the continent. The continent's a much larger place.
The area,
everyone.
the whole area.
Yeah.
Really should have asked before we started game whether or not this would. He let me ask.
And
He'd bring in the big coffee.
if he has his way, a lot of people will die. And with Alphatia, which is the weakest amongst them, she is the goddess of peace, that is the most worshipped in the nation of Alphatia, the enemy of the Thyatus Empire. And she's preaching war. So the goddess of peace has been preaching war for quite a while. This is why she's preaching war.
Peace through mass murder and genocide.
Peace through annihilation.
Yeah.
Peace as in, if you're dead, you can't feel any pain.
Now, on top of that, the Alphatian people are based on the air element being the primary element of their people.
And that's wisdom.
Whichever one it is. So the air element is their primary. All their ruling council have access to it, are air aspected. They're all followers of the air traditions, because that is their traditional belief system that underlies the empire. Whereas Galantry was first settled by the fire people from that were opposing to the air people on another plane of existence. And on that planet, in another plane of existence, those two factions warred and ripped their world apart. And that was more than 3,000 years ago.
Okay.
And basically the Alphatians have now declared, the air people have now declared war on the remains of the fire people.
Basically, war on the elves as well.
The thing is, they will wipe everyone else out on the way there.
So the Alphatians have declared war with everybody.
They've only declared war on the Galantrians, but
Okay.
he knows that they will try to wipe everyone else out along the way.
And is that as a part of them following the gods of the Ring of Fire?
Yes.
So they're only openly at war with Galantry, but
And
yeah.
Having
In the cosmic sense.
Thyatus has, in response, declared war on Alphatia, which is understandable because their entire existence will be wiped out if Alphatia comes.
Brandon's basically air.
They're also air. So it's basically two air nations fighting each other, which is quite amusing in that sense.
Does that mean if they both hit off each other, they'll create twin hurricane?
Quite possibly. And the Haldanic territories has also declared
Yep.
war on the Alphatians, which is another group of air people. So there are three groups of air people all declared war on another crowd
Alphatia.
who hasn't declared war on themselves.
And Aphasia and Thyatus are two of the major powers.
They are the two major powers.
So we're just going to get sucked into it.
That so with all this going on, he's also discovered that there is another group of people who calls themselves the Brotherhood of the Shadow, who the Master serves.
So the master serves someone is.
The Master is questing for immortality, which means he needs to serve someone.
Oh, I see. Okay, so like since he's part of questing.
Every
Trying
quest
to
to
become a
serve
god,
someone.
He
has a sponsor.
But yeah. So he becomes about himself. Yeah.
And he will become a god if he reaches Alfheim before the elves can move their trees.
So you've got three factions, one of which is the only one that doesn't want to kill everybody, just wants to defend itself.
The story coming out of Alphatia is that if Galantry's not stopped, all magical creatures and people will die, as they're destroying the life force of people.
Is there any truth to that?
it's possible that someone has tampered with his engine to do so.
I have a book which may elucidate some of that. I have not yet, but
So, Paul, from a player's perspective, the book only tells you about the teachings of the temple, not where it comes from or how it was done.
There's no background stuff for the thing. Yeah, that's right.
Because the background information is so dangerous that most people who know it have been erased when it's been discovered.
Yes.
That's how dangerous that information is to the gods.
So what does Red want us to do next?
Well, right now he's looking at trying to stop the master from getting here, but in doing so he does need to he's thinking of more putting out spot fires so other people can do stuff, because if an army is held up trying to stop other problems around the world, they can't come here, and he sees Darkin as being the fulcrum that holds everything together.
Darkin falls is good.
If Darkin falls, everything falls. Every future where Darkin has fallen, the rest of the world follows not long
So
after.
he wants us to be basically smoke jumpers. He wants us to jump in and basically troubleshoot issues that are going to slow down forces gathering.
He has arranged for you all to be given commissions so you can't be ordered about by the various armed forces who are so desperate to find men they will Shanghai just about anyone who hasn't got a commission.
Yep. So the only person who's going to be really capable of giving his orders is the general we've put in charge of everything, and he's not going to screw us around.
And he's been given the that because just about any other rank would be seen as false by the rest of the troops.
Okay.
Whereas calling him a general and a leader of his own people makes it a lot more palatable to the rest of the army, especially if he does come back into the nation with more of his people.
So does he have anywhere in particular he'd like us to go first?
That he is currently considering. He has a few issues that are potentially tying up resources, depending on how far afield you wish to go.
Well,
Go where we need to go and do what we need to do, no matter how far that is. Hopefully, no matter how long that takes, but, you know...
where does he need us to be? Because I know he's got other people who work for him. Well, where in particular does...
Well, he says that at the moment he needs you to choose where you're going, because when he tells people to go places, it goes badly.
Alright. Yeah.
Because
sorry.
Because when he makes a decision for people,
They die.
they generally die. Yes.
Calcrix would like to know what options, please.
So he has a island out in the Thargoth Archipelago that seems to be having some sort of disease befalling it, and would need the clerical aid of your cleric to fix that.
Do we have a cleric?
You do.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Which is Jeremy's character.
Jeremy, yep. Can you spell the name of the island? The
I can't do it from the top of my head.
You said it was
Just write the island
just
for the
there,
moment. We'll get it
the
on.
island.
It's where the Isle of Dread is located.
Okay. Island. I'm just going to put near
Isle of
the
Dread.
Isle of Dread.
Which is
It's
what I
not
read in my
the-
notes.
It's not the Isle of Dread,
To the
right?
far south, the Thargoth Archipelago is far south of the known world.
Can you spell the name of the archipelago for me, Jeremy?
EHANEGIOTH.
It's close. I'll know what I'm looking at when I look at the map later. Really
And
need
it's
to get
like
it.
if you look at the map, the standard map of the known world, it's right down the bottom of the map.
Yep.
Okay, so a couple of cults of blood mages have disappeared.
This is where.
Oh, okay.
Is another story. A couple of cult of blood mages have disappeared. He's not too worried about the fact that they've disappeared, just that there's rumours of it causing complications in the Shadowlands.
Missing blood mages.
Blood
in
mages,
Shadow.
just my personal reference. Are blood mages considered the boogeyman, or are they just mages?
Blood mages are generally necromantic water. So people who dabble in the undead and water magic.
Yep.
But it's not necessarily
So it's-
bad people.
Most
The important
necromancers
thing there
are
is-
perceived as evil.
The important thing there is it's other people's blood and therefore they're evil.
So blood mages and magic is considered to be just distasteful to most people and evil to most paladins.
We don't have any paladins in the group, do we?
No.
So that's okay. What kind of magic are we talking here? Like more like warlocks type deal, or is that more cleric?
Well, blood magic generally revolves around sacrifice to gain power.
Yeah, no, I mean in terms of finding them and
We would be better off with Paladin or something. Well, no, well, like with Jeremy, as a cleric, we should be okay, but
in terms of trying
that's
to
more
track
of a
them down
paladin.
and figure out why they've gone missing, things like that.
That's my skill set.
Yeah,
That's-
that's your skill.
yeah.
Yeah, Tolicus.
Yes,
I'm just putting a brief note of whose skills would go towards
Each
each quest.
Well, in this one, the person who would give you the most benefit would be Lull, because of his family connections to the Shadowlands.
Yeah.
Most
Which
of
we
you
can't
don't,
tell anybody about.
which most of you don't have
No.
connections to.
No. That,
And what's
just
it-
because we can't tell anyone about
So-
it doesn't mean yeah.
In the Northern Reaches, a prince has had his soul stolen, and they're unable to raise his body, so they're looking for someone to find out why.
That's an interesting one.
And they know it's stolen because they can't talk to him or commune with his spirit.
So most of the standards speak with dead, spells on.
Yes, and they
So,
can't
yeah.
bring him back.
So when you say they can't bring him back, is it more like, they try and it says this soul is unavailable?
Well, it's when
Please
you
call again.
I think it's a busy time.
say if you turn someone into a zombie or a skeleton, their soul's also unavailable to come back because their body has been turned into an undead.
Yeah.
So body or spirit turned into one dead, you can't turn the body, you can't do it. So the soul's been stolen in some manner.
So potentially it's either trapped somewhere or it has been turned. Like, is his body still available?
They've got his body.
So his spirit could have been turned into a ghost or a shade or something like that.
Or pinched by some form of magic.
But the fact that it's been stolen is probably integral in one of these pieces of the puzzle.
Yep.
In terms of matching player characters to quests and strengths and things like that, that would be something more.
Trollocus would probably be one of the better ones to track down things related to it, and then you would have Lull being more in line with understanding some of the magic involved, and then you would have Drachnomir being aware of various blood rights due to the fact that the
That's mainly what I'm
Tiger
thinking.
tribe is very much into those sort of stuff. So he would also help with the blood cults disappearing.
Oh yeah.
So of the three options, we only had three options, is that correct?
There's also a tome relating to vampires has been discovered in the Karamikan region.
I can go back to the anyway, so it's
Right.
Cool and fabrics.
Most of you would be able to do that one pretty well. The benefit there is that he doesn't know much more than it may predate most of the vampires on the continent.
Cleaning up is my helpful. That's it's undead like vampires. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, you are.
Oh, nice. I remembered something. That's been discovered.
That has been discovered. And they've unearthed another ruins in the desert that people have disappeared at. So in the Yalari Desert,
Yeah, I was going to say, is that Yalarum?
which may also hold up the access to troops that Lull might be able to bring with Luell's contacts.
So that would probably be a high priority when we went covering troops.
Yeah, yeah,
That one sounds like a dungeon crawl.
yeah. Holding troops. Who complete.
And in the town near Luell's new domain, there's rumors of Rakasha taking some form of leadership out there. But no, that's just more rumors, so he's not quite sure what's happening there.
Rakasha are nasty. Just
Okay.
off the beat, I'm thinking one of the last two.
Well, of the ones that suit the whole party, like over the dungeon crawl one,
Yeah, that's the
Yalarum.
Yalarum.
yeah, the vampire book,
That
Yep.
one kind of sounds cool.
Yep,
and I think also the one before that, which was
the priest.
the blood right, blood magic one.
Think
Blood
again.
Mages was 2 up. The Northern Reaches, priest missing. So yeah, there
Oh,
was
sorry, the body,
Prince-
the
body,
soul,
yeah,
the soul.
yeah. Well, we can't do all 3.
We need to choose one of the 3. I think
There's also
I'm not sure we want to pick ongoing vampires are cool, but
there's also a clockwork creature on the loose that he would like track down.
a second.
Where was this last scene?
Last seen between Alfheim and Rockham in No Man's Land.
If you can just pause for a sec. I need to repeat some of that. So what was it? It's a clockwork.
A clockwork monstrosity.
Clockwork monstrosity. Okay.
And it's gone. What?
It's just
It's located somewhere between Alfheim and Rockham.
it doesn't appear to be controlled or anything, it's just running around.
Well, anything clockwork without a controller is worrisome to him.
yeah.
Because if it's got its own intellect or if it's got the soul of someone inside it, he thinks either of those are bad ideas.
Hey, I found your prints. 2 birds on stone.
Alright,
And there's believed to be a
So much for 6.
This is, yeah, 7. No, 8.
This is 8. Yeah.
so there could be a shrine to the Brotherhood of Shadows out in the deserts as well. He's not sure if it's related or not, but he's had word of people discovering that it's there, but not giving him any more information beyond that. He's lost a few
That's
of
probably
his
really important one.
contacts.
Brotherhood of Shadows is our big bad, or one of our big bads.
And up in the Northern Reaches, he's uncovered a earth temple that might be able to
I would, especially being a risk taker, I would like to stay off the free circles, like the fire circle, those guys' radar for as long as possible. I mean, chasing down the shrine of the Circle of Darkness.
Well, you don't necessarily have to chase it down. You could
Let's
just
say
find
all
more
of
info.
these are gonna have stuff.
And all of these are gonna, like
Yeah.
it or not, as some of these sound like they might not be as risk-taking attention grabbing. Trust me, they will be.
Oh yeah.
The more least likely.
Oh, you know, I
the
was referring more to
likely.
the fact, as we know after learning the secrets, that the longer we stay off the Circle's radar, the better, because they're one of the people that will track us down and try and kill us if they find out we know what we know.
He's managed to find a shrine in the underworld relating to the domain of dreams.
I'm partial
How many
to-
more are there?
Let's see, there's one more.
Okay, cool. Let me just finish Underworld. Relating to dreams?
Yep. The plane of dreams.
Oh, Plane of Dreams.
What element is that?
Air thought.
Oh.
Which, that's our enemy.
And the last one is a encampment of giants that have split off from their main group.
Giants!
Also in the northern reaches. Some frost giants who have come south for some reason.
Oh,
And they may have other information. So each one of them has potential. So while you're discussing that, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
I'll let you.
I will point out there are 2 in the northern reaches, so that is a possible potential
What are
of
the 2
doing.
long reaches?
So there was the Earth
prince.
Temple.
There's
the priest.
there's 3 actually.
3. Okay.
So you have the prince that has his soul stolen, the unearthed Earth Temple,
Yeah.
and the encampment of frost giants, which
Okay.
we may or may not have heard some of those rumblings when we walked past that when we were in the
Maybe we
northern
find
regions
out which
last
one of
time.
those is easiest to get to. Do that one first, then look at doing the other 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like northern reaches. There's definitely a lot of stuff there that we could possibly do. How do you guys online
Yeah, I was
feel
gonna
about
say
that?
online hasn't.
And obviously, as I said, from Dracula's perspective, he's happy to accept that you guys are working on advice from Adrian, so he'll go with what you guys decide.
Cool.
What about you, Paul?
What did you say?
Yeah, I agree with that one too. It's yeah, no.
Okay.
So the other one,
I mean, you at least were you were in the room with Adrian, though. You like
Yeah.
Paul did get all the information, didn't he?
Dracula is at the banquet.
well, yeah, 'cause the other one I was interested in was the basically dungeon crawler city.
Which that one sounds pretty cool too.
So
Sure.
I think the options are the options we need to look at are either the free in the north
Or the one in the
see where
tomb in Yulara.
yeah, where there was one you're missing.
We're looking at doing the most good. The 3 in the north is good.
That's what I'm kind of thinking that.
But we don't know. The thing is, this city where people are disappearing,
Oh,
that could be a major, and that's the one that's stopping Lull's troops from coming through. Of the 3 in the north, with Redrian's travel network and stuff like that, which of those 3 is the easiest to get to?
So the
Technically, you can get to most of them fairly easily.
Are they close to each other geographically?
A lot of them are. Well, geographically, considering most of the hexes are 8 miles, you're looking at maybe a couple of weeks at the most travel between a lot of them.
Geographically, most are quite some distance away, travel by boat or things like that.
Yeah.
It's not undue.
Well,
Airship would be the best way to travel, but you
So-
can't get something that quickly.
well, so I think we've got some of ourselves those 3 in the north, which are close
Yeah.
together, or
or we
the city
go
of death.
to the
Bring it
ruins
here.
in Yulara.
Yeah. He also does tell you
Yeah.
that he was there was a preemptive strike on the Alphatian Navy to take out their air fleet. Because if they didn't take out the air fleet, we wouldn't be talking right now.
so this is another one.
There is
This is
that-
something that has occurred.
something that happened
Oh, okay.
in the previous year.
We were slightly
Or we will be talking
adjacent
location
to.
anyway.
Okay, so what was that again?
They do anyway.
One of his groups had taken out the Alphatian Navy while it was still on the ground.
So one of Red Dream groups.
One of Red
Do
Dream
you
groups did.
remember when we got the destruction orb to Drazzle and passed it through a portal?
Yeah.
And if
They-
that,
they-
if that
they
hadn't
used our boom.
so if
Sorry,
that
carry on.
if that hadn't happened, there would be nothing but burnt ground here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're aware that it was Demetria that did it.
so yeah. So basically, we just need to work out which position we want to take.
Yeah. So
And he does say that there is no right answer.
Oh,
that's a problem. Yeah.
And with the
You can work with whatever decision we
and
make.
with the 3 factions that are currently operating, if any of them win, it goes badly.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's why we must win.
When we're talking troop issues, like is Llewellyn's forces like a huge factor?
It depends on when they come. If everyone shows up early, it's bad. They can show up late as long as they don't show up too late.
Yeah.
It's like if everyone's in the field when the master comes, the master will win.
So we need reserve.
Right. We need people timed to be reserves.
Which is why the Atruaghins have been approached by the master to stay out of.
What do we know about frost giants? Is it likely to be something we can talk to, or is it going to be something that we're going to have to fight?
They don't taste very good. Back in a second.
I'll make friends with the avatars.
Okay.
In
The giants themselves hate the dragons.
Oh, do they?
Yes, that they've been
Well,
all
they're-
of the dragons for as long as they.
because they fight the territory.
But the
Yeah.
dragons have basically kept them from banding together.
They haven't met the dragon, they haven't liked
In the hierarchy of giants, frost giants are just under storm giants?
Actually, I thought they were... No.
Everyone was under storm giants until recently.
I think it's
Oh,
storm
until
giants.
recently.
I think it's storm giants, then I think it's fire.
Yeah.
Or is it cloud?
Most of the different types under storm giants don't follow the authority of the other giants.
Oh, they don't rank from there.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just storm giant and then
yeah,
everybody
just going
else.
off the
Okay,
physical power
okay.
of the giants. But I think the frost giants aren't...
They're about middle giant.
Yeah, they're about middle in power.
That's what it's...
But a frost giant versus a fire giant depends on the environment they're in. If they're in a snowy environment, the fire giant doesn't stand a chance. If they're in a volcanic environment, the frost giant doesn't stand a chance.
Makes sense.
Whereas no matter where you are, none of them stand a chance against a storm giant.
Because the sword guy's just physically bigger.
And they also have access to abilities the others do not.
Makes
And I
sense.
think fire giants and the builders and the makers, they're the
And of course,
crafters.
they all get stomped on by titans.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
So she just needs to bring Herman with her.
So the chances are that if we... So pretty much the siege probably going to be investigation with a bit of combat, whereas the northern cleanse is probably going to be a lot of fighting, and I think we're going to have to fight giants as we go.
It's most likely going to be fighting whichever way you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say there's going to be fighting whichever way we go.
I'm kind of leaning towards the northern reaches, as it seems that we can do the most good there, but also that ruins in Yawning sounds really cool as well. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
I
leaning
don't know what
towards
to
the ruins
choose.
because I'd like an opportunity for my skill set to come in,
I like
Yeah.
to hit things.
which you can do.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm gonna say no matter what, I'm gonna end up
Yeah.
hitting things at this stage. So Lonnie's
okay,
pretty happy.
From metagame point of view, I feel that the city would probably be more.
Yeah, from
with my
metagame,
skills.
that's my problem. Is like from a metagame point of view, I want to do the city, but from like a character point of view, I want to go to Northern Reaches.
I would say, I'm guessing it's from player point of view. So far, Jeffrey's really showing passion for this quest. I have no objection. We got to pick one.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can always start at one and move to others.
Well, yeah, because we kind of did that before, of where we started in Yawning, went north, and then went back towards Yawning. So, like, we could start Yawning and head north again.
Yeah, this if this is something that sort of one of the players really wants to do, I think that's worthwhile taking
Yeah.
up.
So, like, if
If
we
it
end
doesn't
up,
really matter
If
what
we
we
had a bit more
pick.
input from.
yeah, if we
What
end up
about you,
having,
Llewellyn? Well,
yeah, Llewell and
okay, I understand
Yeah.
what Drac was saying because he was in the
yeah,
meeting.
Jack knew it. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
part of the meeting.
But
so he was
Llewellyn's
okay.
actually in the movie.
I will point out one thing from a player perspective,
Yeah.
which I think that the characters would be aware of, is remember that Yawning has a reputation for causing people to lose knowledge.
So, yeah,
right.
that is a very
Now-
good point.
It specifically pinches
Whether-
knowledge about certain
Well-
facts that most people forget about because it's been pinched.
That's what I mean, like I said, people wouldn't necessarily know exactly what the knowledge is that they lose, but it's known to lose knowledge. Considering you guys have now been imbued with very specific knowledge, you may not want to risk losing any knowledge.
That actually is really good mechanic knowledge to know.
As I say, I mean, it's obviously player character information in that sort of sense. but in a couple of
Does
years.
that include when I'm in?
And obviously from a player perspective, we know that it wouldn't actually make any difference.
It does
whatsoever.
not.
Okay.
But she did say to avoid the cities of Yularum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well,
I
have you
said,
been told
when
that?
I
Let's look
listen
at
it back.
let's head to
Thanks,
the
Jeremy.
north. Thank you. Alright, let's go north then, I suppose.
Yeah.
I want to ask Bridget a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way, if we go to Yularum, that we can protect ourselves from losing the knowledge you've given us in this room, so we can undertake that quest without forgetting why we're doing it?
He says his studies have shown that the archways at the entryway to all the settlements is where the erasing magic is located. So if you don't go near those archways, you shouldn't lose your memories.
So we could avoid the archways.
Right.
Well,
And it's unfortunately it's also a sign of disrespect to avoid the archways.
so we just don't go to like this, the ruins have the archways?
The ruins do not have the archways.
Well, we just don't go to the cities.
Yeah, well, that's it. Can't we invisible ourselves in, maybe, or something?
You can find other ways in, yes.
Yeah.
Yet there are ways to sneak in. It's just that it's one of those tradition things where people have been taught to do this because of the magic involved.
So as long as we avoid the archways, we can go to the city, the ruins.
And on a light-hearted note, who's going to argue with a large-sized dragon when she
Well,
says,
don't
I
forget,
don't want to go through an archway?
last time we went to Yularum,
Yep.
it was particularly Calcreeks who specifically needed to go via the cities to pay appropriate homage or duties to the leadership.
Actually, it was. I think it ended up being me as well, but Lull ended up signing that treaty, and that's why he had to go through. But yeah, you're right. Both of us had to go into the city, whereas this time neither of us have any particular.
Can Redring get us deep into Yularum without the city, or?
He can get you to Yularum City, but that would then potentially
Yeah,
subject you to it. Or he can get you to Sablenica on the edge of Yularum, where you can then make your way past it.
Yep. So yeah, I say just avoid the archways.
So that puts the city back on the table.
See, Martin has taught me something over the last couple of years of playing.
Okay.
Don't ask the question,
Well,
don't die.
what do you think?
Was that directed
Silverwell.
And I'm sure that once they got into discussions of the tasks, that they would have brought Drachnamir back in to tell him about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just everything behind him was left out.
Yeah, no, when you were waiting for the table, I did say that, I'm happy that Dracula will accept their decision because it's based upon the knowledge they've just received of whatever job they think are most important. So, I do have one question though, Martin.
Yep.
You mentioned that possibly it was the knowledge that they received from Adrian about the rule of the gods.
Yep.
That might cause the instant death or virtual instant death if you read the Galantry before 1018.
Yep.
Just confirming, Jack Nimmer was still told by Grazel not to enter before 1018?
He was.
Okay.
Just not why.
Well, no, probably what it means is that Jack Nimmer will find out the information.
Probably from your own god at some point. Possibly 2 seconds after we finish this meeting.
Well, that's just it. During a bit of a ship trip or whatever, or a travel ride near Kelquick, you might find everything out.
She's actually pretty good at keeping secrets if she has to. All you guys know as players about those green seeds she's got, but as characters, nobody knows she's got them now. Except for maybe the Queen of Darkness, because she knows Calcrix, but Calcrix wouldn't have told her. I'm just going to go through
Yep.
So,
whatever decision.
Okay.
So, Paul, what do you think?
Paul might be concentrating on something.
No, I'm back.
Alright.
I sort of heard most of that because I had to deal with the cat.
Yeah, no worries.
So, Sorry. So what's the actual
So
question?
our question is: do we go after the group of 3 quests in the northern reaches, just choosing one of them to start with, or do we go with the ruins in Yularum Desert, knowing that there's a possibility we could lose knowledge should we go through certain archways? We could always do the thing of where we start in Yularum and head north from there. And so I think that's what we're kind of leaning towards, but what does Lull think of it?
The thing with the alarm one, as long as we avoid the cities, we should be able to avoid the archers.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like a good way to go. Learning stuff before dealing with people is probably a better way to go.
Yeah.
Because it's also the one that affects your army, your troops.
Yeah, that's the thing. It affects the troops that'll help ultimately with the war occurring with the Master. And so that was also part of Lonnie's reasoning of going there.
Well, that's what we narrowed it down to the more for this one.
Yeah. Alright, well, sounds like we have a bit of a consensus is that we will go towards the ruins in Yularum, and then if however that turns out, head north from there.
Yeah. Okay, sounds like a plan.
If that is still an option, depending on how long this takes.
It is.
Yep.
Okay.
In that sense, yeah, it's. But this would have been a lot easier discussing the border street that we're having. Rather than bad Discord.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you've been given a whole bunch of supplies, so enough that you should be able to survive a couple of weeks in the desert at the worst.
Yep.
And you could quite easily stretch that with foraging and other things as well.
Yes.
Well, we will make sure we get as much supplies as possible before we head across the desert. We still got the stuff we got before when we were going
The last
across.
time.
Well, the idea is not to carry too much with you, because if you carry too much with you, you'll slow down.
Yeah.
I don't know, we still got like the desert clothing that we got from going
From
through.
the last time.
Mhm. And your cape still feels cool.
I saw my cool cape. Lonnie, the cool cape casino.
So, Redrin will have more information for you when you reach the area.
Yep.
And he'll pass that along through Drazel.
Yep.
Yep, that's the thing.
Mainly because Drazel seems to be able to communicate with himself no matter where he is.
Hey.
Or when you.
Or when, yeah, certainly. Yeah, he's got a time phone.
So it does take you about 3 weeks to reach the area.
Yep.
And it is quite a quick trip, even though your short would have taken a lot longer. But you avoided just about any entanglement along the way.
And camping at night is easy because I've got the summonable tower.
Mm-hmm. Every second night.
Yes. Plus I can do these ritual thing as well.
You can.
Yep. Okay, it's not. It will be on my list. Purify food and drink as a ritual, so we can. I can't create it unless that is. Has become a ritual. I can't check it. But I can make whatever we get safe to consume.
So not long after heading into Yularum itself, you veer south away from the main road because they've discovered you dropped a dice. Because they discovered a ruins in the mountains to the south. And Drazel tells you that a archaeologist who works for Redrian has gone missing in the last few days. He was supposed to meet up with her before she went off investigating, but she might have been a little impulsive.
Right.
Have any of these guys actually met this archaeologist before?
None of the group has, as they're not quite sure what she looks like.
Okay, is Drazel able to provide a description?
He believes she's human.
Awesome. That just narrows it down to about what? How many years are there?
Alright.
He says, if human living in tomb, most likely her. If human recently killed in tomb, most likely her.
Aha.
So it's actually a common term, like we're like a big interest in that.
As you reach the area, there's hundreds of entrances along a cliff face, and Drazel leads you down away from where workers are, saying she was heading down this way in last report. So, which of you has survival?
I do.
So you can make a survival to try to follow tracks, no matter how old they are. Deserts don't always erase things unless wind comes through.
Technically, we're also going to look around.
No, I got a nat 1. But that would be with all that would be 6. We added stuff.
As I said, technically, we're also going to look around, and with his plus 13, you got 32.
I'm probably looking up at the cliff faces and being like, I don't know which one.
I'm not sure how you'd actually track somebody in the sky.
Oh, look at the ground.
just watched, was it The Princess Bride?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so, well,
What we see is the difference between looking for tracks for someone who spends all their time on an ocean and looking for tracks on someone who always spends their time on land.
Yeah, that is definitely a difference. I'm just like, I'm looking, and then the director is like actually looking.
Right.
Yeah,
You're trying to track a pocket on a cloudy day.
So Dracnomir does find a set of tracks belonging to what he sees as a young woman, basically by the size, weight, and shape.
And here she was travelling alone at the time?
She was travelling alone,
Let's follow the tracks, I suppose.
and it
Any idea how old they are?
looks like it's about 3 days old.
Which hits when the archaeologist went missing?
It does.
So basically she was told to wait for us
Yeah.
before she went doing it off her head.
Yep. Not like anyone you know.
Well, I would never have rushed off to it too by myself.
Right.
Oh, not even if you knew about the treasure that was going to be found in there?
Let me just
If
tell
you
you
were
what
by yourself, you wouldn't have to care?
Let me just check that.
That's 20 of deception.
I'm sure most people believe it. Most.
I believe that you believe that.
And you find yourself at a doorway 20 feet wide with a 4-foot opening inside, in the front of it. It's pitch black inside. No sign of any light whatsoever. But you can see, Dracnomir can easily see the markings of feet going inside.
So, how many of us have dark vision?
Not me.
I have goggles of the night, so we're putting in our light source.
I got nothing. Pretty sure. Wait, no. I'm trying to remember all our level up stuff. Did I get anything help with that? I don't think I did.
I'm assuming Luell's got dark vision.
I'm an elf, yeah.
I have a glowy sword so that I don't have to rely on dark vision.
Well, how wide is the
Academy would come in light.
The entryway is about 2 feet wide. by 4 feet high.
So basically,
But you said the actual door was 20 feet wide.
The door is 20 feet wide, but the door hasn't been opened fully.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So it's not actually, there's not a door within the door, it's just a case that it's been opened a little bit.
It's been opened a little bit.
I'm going to examine the door.
Yeah.
Just see.
It looks old.
Huh?
It looks old.
Yeah, I'm just going to see, for
Are there-
example, if the archaeologist went through a cord on the door, or she was squeezing through. To see any sign that the track's going, obviously.
The track going doesn't look like she scraped on the way in. But then again, by Dracomir looking at the footprint, she seems to be fairly light.
Well, it's supposed to be. What time of day is it?
Hot.
How heavy is this door?
That's it.
And how easy does it
Just
move?
remember I've
You-
got keen mind, which
wait.
means I know exactly what time of day it is.
When you're in the desert, you have 2 times a day. You have hot, and then when it's warm. That's it.
And then cold at night.
And then
Yes.
extreme cold.
It gets freezing at night.
Actually, I wasted one of my feats on keen mind. It tells me exactly what time of day it is.
I have a little orb that tells me the exact time.
Well, the orb gives you a rough approximation.
Oh, okay.
So you know if it's morning, if it's
that type of
noon,
thing.
if it's afternoon, if it's evening, if it's night.
Well, that's nice. It matches an aesthetic. I like it.
So what is it?
I-
You want to
yeah.
know which way is north, the number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset. You can actually record anything you've seen or heard within the last month.
Okay, so
Okay, the ability to know the time is very important for Tychus. It means that the fact they don't have clocks in the casino, he doesn't get confused.
so the thing that has messed with that is it's gone dark before you knew it was going to go dark at times.
That's odd, actually. So,
Ever since the master encroached on the edge of the
It's messed up.
lake, the nighttime has come earlier. Before you expect night to happen.
Almost like an early winter.
So your mind says the sun's still up and it's
I know when
sunset.
sunset's supposed to be. Yeah.
and it's pitch dark before sunset.
Well, I suppose we go in. I was the room I was asking what time of day we were
Remember, he's actually just going to have a bit of a test of the door and see how easily it moves.
Okay, give me a strength roll for make an athletics roll for Dracomir. If you've got the skill, you may as well use the skill.
The skilled strength checks.
I think a total of 12.
A total of 12. Nope, she's stuck.
So, yeah, given also looking at the fact that this it would appear this archaeologist was slight of build, and yet he was able to move the door apparently moderately easily. At least this
Try
far.
and check the door
That's-
for mechanism or levers.
I was actually going to check the door if there's any cultural markings or any
Okay.
indication.
So
of
both of you get to make investigation
Looks like.
checks.
Cool. Now,
I got 15.
I can advantage of this.
Nice.
On investigation,
That's an extra 20.
natural 20. Okay, so you find what you recognize to be jack marks and tool marks on the door. So it looks as if she's used some sort of mechanical jack to open the door.
What I was actually also looking for was potentially.
I know you're looking for other things, but you found that with the 20, you found the markings of
Oh, that's 31 all up.
of what someone had jacked open the door using a mechanical contraption.
And to be honest, that set Dracula's mind much more at ease. He was
And
concerned that the door opened
I
and
think
literally
That would be.
and it would be basically far more than just a crowbar to open this door. It's not designed to be opened.
Okay, so there's no catches, no hidden mechanisms, nothing like that.
You have a feeling it was dropped in place, and that was it.
It's
So
it's a
it was-
portable wall, not a door.
It was more. Think of it more like a cork, something shoved into place.
Yeah, exactly. It's a portable wall. Someone went, we need to close this off. Let's put a wall in there.
So do we need to rest before we go in, or like how much travel did we do before we got to this point?
You've probably got at least another 4 hours in the day before you need to rest.
How shall we go back out
Oh,
here?
hold on. Well, did I see? Well, okay.
And
so-
while you're looking at it, you can see depictions of lush forests and greenery all over, reminding you of island-like conditions, but unfamiliar plants. Very much rainforest sort of pictures.
Yawning used to be lush rainforest. didn't it?
Yeah, so
It did, yes, but no one remembers that.
I was gonna say,
I can't even remember. Okay, sorry.
how smart is Lonnie again? Oh, okay.
I know about it.
Smart enough. So Lonnie would assume with that this is based off of Lull where it was cursed. So that's what this, the timing of when this tomb, quote unquote, was made, if it's a tomb, when this ruin was made, and so whatever is inside comes from that time.
And you'd think that with the amount of desert around this place, it became uninhabitable when
Very
the
quickly.
water dried up.
Yeah.
With no water, no life.
No wonder the Red Deer wants to check this out.
It's old enough that it may have even have technology inside.
True.
They do exist here in this world.
Oh, that's right, because Annihilation. What was that one?
The setting itself had Blackmore, and Blackmore had laser gun,
And this was like 2 or 3 years ago.
and that is the setting Blackmore was used.
Yeah.
When it was made at Dungeons and Dragons, Blackmore was this world.
So, if we go in, what sort of marching order are we going to have?
The person you can't see going first.
Well, I'm assuming
Not
we're
Lonnie.
taking a light source in.
Lonnie sticks next to wherever Dracula goes, because Lonnie can't see. Where
Oh,
are we? What are we
okay.
doing?
You're in front of a old
You can provide a light source onto your shield or whatever, or the tip of your spear, whatever you like to use.
Because I can always also just have my sun laid out, which casts light. But
You'll be ready to stand.
that's the thing. It's like that's me walking forward with the sword. I might poke something
or someone.
or someone. So
Do you have any reason
There's also a light source behind me.
Yeah, I can put a light up as well.
I was gonna say, can't.
Precipitation doesn't do it.
That's what I always get confused with
lights.
That's a good one. That's
Dancing
one of the
lights
balls
would
that float
That's
around.
what I'm like. Is there any reason why we couldn't use dancing lights?
Only
You could-
we don't want to be discovered, but we are presuming that nobody is in here other than the possible body of the
The
archaeologist.
problem is, as far as I'm aware, nobody but Lull is in the dark. Oh, you might have.
I've got
I was gonna say,
lights.
I think dragon.
They're going to have blind sight.
Oh,
No, I'm pretty sure.
Dracula doesn't
Not all
seem
of them
to
do.
see the dark.
I've got goggles of the night, so I can see in the dark as well.
Because I've been in the dark before, so I'm 99% sure I've got dark vision. My brain's just trying to figure out where to find it on here, and it hasn't fallen, obviously.
I'm assuming we're going to have to be up the front to make sure we don't trigger any traps or...
I think it actually would be best if we have Telecus out front with using your night
Yep.
vision stuff.
Dragon does have dark vision.
Yeah.
And I might have to go with
I'm
dark
thinking
vision
if we
as
could
well.
have Telecus and then me and Dracula, probably Dracula being second, and then me next to Lull, and then Calcurt's bringing up the rear.
I could probably
Well, I
go...
got dark vision 119 was a hit one, so.
But that's why I'm saying put you in the rear that way, like if anything should sneak up or something should close or something.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if I go to the front towards the edge of the light, I can still hide and sneak. If you take it very slowly...
Which
Well,
because
in
if
the
you-
dark, you can hide perfectly.
I was gonna say between you and Dracula,
Hidden
Well, they
creatures
have to
also
be
don't have
otherwise.
advantage against them.
Except from me.
yeah, because Dracula tends to be the scout. So between you and Dragon working together, you can essentially clear rooms together.
But as I said, Emma does not see in the dark, so he needs light.
Yeah, so like,
So
that's
it
why
does
I
make
chose
sense
to be
for
best first.
if there's a light source effectively centered upon Emma and or Lani,
If I walk
and then you walk 20 feet in front of that light source, and you've effectively got the advantage of shadowing light. You may want to go further forward if you wanted to.
I don't want to be too far ahead because while I am a bit of a fighter, I'm not as sturdy.
No, that's right. That's right. So the point is that there's 20 foot of bright light and then 20 foot of dim light. So in the dim light, you've certainly got a good chance to be fairly stealthy.
And also would help you with
Without being out of sight of those of us who can then move into support and or, as I say, Dragon would actually normally use a foe anyway, so he's happy to be supporting from 20, 40, 400 feet away.
So you want to go up front, but you can't see.
No, I can't take my goggles in the night. So I have an anti-light that allows me to see in the dark.
So who goes in first?
Well, if you like going first, then...
But I'm going slowly.
You go in first?
Okay.
I'll definitely back up anyone's doing at the moment because I shouldn't be in front.
No, okay. So the idea is that...
Yeah, that's why I
I
wanted
guess,
to keep...
how big does it turn
Is
out to be
Tolicus
the
a
space
bulky person
on
or
the
a thin
door?
person?
This wiry little...
Okay, so you have no problem sliding between the doors.
Is there any academic check or anything to do it?
No? As long as you're describe yourself as thin, no problem.
Basically,
Okay.
I'm high dex and heavy strength.
You could be high deck and average strength and be a bulky person. It's your
100% is the wiry...
it's your perception.
Wiry.
So yes, you're sliding through the doors and feel your all your hair stand on end as you step through.
Oh, I was gonna say, is Drazzle with us?
He is. He's outside.
Is he going to follow us? I'll ask him before we head in.
You'll follow.
Okay. I always trust him to follow along.
When you say hair stands up on end, is it just because it's the this much physique or...
Give me a deception roll.
Coming slowly in. What's really sweaty for these? Say 9 on the dice. That should become 17 or 18, I think.
Okay, as you're stepping in there, you see that from the entryway it goes down about 6 steps into a passageway with Anubis-like statues either side of the passage.
What's the statue say?
Anubis.
Oh, yeah.
And just as you're about to step off the step, you notice that the flooring looks slightly different. As you realize you've just almost stepped on a pressure plate. And that's when you realize that your goggles are flicking on and off. You can still see, but it is a weird sort of blinking sort of.
Is that going to affect what we were trying to find in the sun?
Yeah.
You don't believe it will, it's just annoying.
Okay, cool.
You think there's some sort of interference here.
Which means that I'm not going to be useful light may also have the same interference. We'll find out when they come
Quite
in.
possibly, yes.
Alright, I'm going to try and see if I can disable the pressure plate.
Okay. That would be... What's it normally under? Disabling trade.
Thieves tools.
Thieves
So
tools,
you
yes.
have a proficiency bonus plus whatever stat you decide this company or skill this company use.
I would say it would be dexterity.
Okay.
Check it out.
It's normally, using thieves tools, it's normally dexterity based, plus your proficiency bonus, and then if you get expertise in thieves tools, you
Yes,
get
I
your
do.
proficiency bonus.
I believe I have expertise in these tools. Let me just do this. Nope, I do not have expertise in these tools. I have it in deception and stealth. I'm a sneaky gambler. But I still got full 3 stalls.
Hang on, what did you say you had? Deception and stealth.
Yeah.
Are you not more than a 6th level rogue?
I'm a 10th floor rogue.
Because you should have got 2 more skills when you were 6th level.
Oh, goddamn, yes, you're right. Peaceful would be one of them.
Okay. Which means you have expertise in that.
Yeah. So my... Oh, that's why. There we go. Thank you. So it's 5. That's 8 plus 13. And 24.
24. Okay, looking at it, you think you can wedge it, but you're sure there's more than one. You don't think you can actually disable it completely.
Okay, well, try to do is I'll disable what I can. I'm going to try and use it as a chalk mark the pressure plates so that these guys can move through without triggering. Is that going to work?
How far did he enter before we found the pressure plate?
It was 4 steps in.
Okay.
Right.
So we're basically still looking from the doorway at the present time.
And from the doorway, you can't actually see anything because it's just blackness. You don't even see Autolycus once you stepped in.
I was going to say,
If I activate the light spell and hold it like extra visually. I don't know if Lani would like a light spell specifically on something of hers. I'm happy to put it on my
as Autolycus goes in, and we no longer see him after that, not even like a shadow, it seems like an abrupt darkness. I just rolled perception for Lani, got 23. Would she perceive that as being a magical darkness?
Yes.
Yeah. So she would just assume, oh, there's magical darkness, there's something on the other side of that. I'll kind of, like, not loudly, but kind of call it to Autolycus. Like, Autolycus, what do you see? Are you okay? Can you hear us? And just to see if he can hear us from outside of that.
He can hear you.
He can hear you, and then does Autolycus respond?
Yes.
Can Lonnie and all of them hear Autolycus?
I believe you can hear him clearly.
Okay, so it's just...
Is the light cantrip enough to actually dispel the darkness?
The light cantrip sort of flickers and dissipates as soon as you cross the threshold.
Okay.
Right. I don't think anybody's got any of the higher level ones.
Unfortunately, we don't have our wizard with us, so I don't think
What is
so.
that not coming up with?
Yeah.
You know, definitely.
I've got spells, but I don't. I'm a good number of spells, but I don't have a higher level light spell.
So most people never need it.
And
Yes.
Dracula does not have a high version of light spell because he's still feeling one of the wizard being cleric.
At the moment, you have Lani and Dracnomir messing with the entrance.
If I light a torch.
Do you have one? Not everyone does. Once you get to 10th level, people generally dump that for magic.
Yeah, once I get a bag of holding, I usually keep the lamp in some oil because
I pretty much have very basic equipment.
Yes. Actually, I think I do have a torch in my pack. I never took it out.
Oh, sorry, I have a good lantern.
Oh, there we go.
From my cage.
You pull it out and light it?
Yes.
Okay. As you light the lantern, your goggles just frizz out completely. And looking around you, it's a normal light. So as it reaches the door, it's just a sheet of light.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
While the door behind you is a sheet of light. Because you're still in the passageway,
Yeah.
so the light's not leaving the tomb.
So yeah, it doesn't...
Oh, okay, but it's still lighting up the combat.
Yeah.
Alright, can one of your arcane types come in here?
When the light, when Dracula's light spell flickers, he will actually, and having heard the fact that Autolycus was at least had moved in, like he's not far, but had moved in. Dracula will attempt to actually step over the threshold of the doorway to see whether or not the darkness is just a block in the doorway, or whether it goes beyond there. So.
Okay, and what was Calcrix doing?
I just want to see what size should I change my size?
You'd want to probably be medium size.
Yeah, medium.
Because
I
if
don't
you
need
get
to be smaller than medium. Okay. And since everyone's crowding around the door, Calcrix kind of gets on the ground and looks between everybody's legs to see if her dark vision allows her to see anything in the room.
can't see into the room at all.
Can't see into the room at all.
And once Dracnomir squeezes into the room, so is Dracnomir rather large and muscly or thin and wiry?
Well, he's relatively tall for a human, but comparatively slender. Like he's certainly not a bulky.
So yes, you have no problem sliding in, and once you're across the threshold, you feel your hair stand up on end, and then you see once your face passes through, you see Autolycus with a hooded lantern pointed in your direction, going from darkness to bright light.
That's something weird
I don't
about
want
this
to
too.
look. You want to look back in the direction we want to go.
But you were lighting up to see what you can see. Hooded lantern means you generally point in the direction you're
I'm pointing
looking.
away from.
So he points to you can see a long passageway heading deep into the area with no blueprints at all on the floor.
I'm not there, never mind.
Well, okay. Dracula will mention that it would appear that the darkness is only across the threshold.
What I will do is I'm going to see if I can make sure
So
it's cut away.
It's a wall rather than an area.
There is probably enough for at least four of you to stand on the stairs before the trap.
And so, if Dracula recognises or notices that Autolycus is looking at a potential trap in the stairwell,
He has marked a tile with an X. I'm sure X marks the spot.
Dracula's happy to will be interested to look around for further evidence of traps and go down that pathway. So.
Okay, give me a investigation roll for Dracnomir. Who steps in next?
Lonnie would step in next as soon as Autolycus and Dracula indicate that there's space.
21 for investigation.
21 for investigation. Yes, you do realise that most of the passageway is trapped.
Excellent.
And it's the one trap.
Oh,
Can I recognize what sort of trap the effect is going to have?
It appears to be pressure plate,
Yep.
and each of the flagstone tiles is a pressure plate.
So every tile or only certain?
He thinks every time.
How many are in this room?
At the moment, there's three. As Lani just steps in.
So who's
Can I get an estimate as to how far the tiles might extend before the trap?
So from the doorway, you're thinking probably at least. How far is your lantern?
I'm just wondering how many of you are going to go down if this trap goes on.
The bullseye lantern has
Put in the radius and give like an additional 30.
Okay,
That's
so-
like 30.
So you see it go out about 30 feet and then blackness.
yeah. Well, bullseye is a directional one.
yeah, that's up to so.
The bullseye's a lens. But I think it's 40 or 50
That's
feet.
what a bullseye.
No, 30 makes sense because the standard is 20.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, fair enough.
It does, yes.
So I'll be the only one who can see what's going on.
It's
Potentially.
magic darkness, so it's hard to tell.
Dracula will make sure as soon as the men and one or two extras come through behind him and say, hang on, there's not much room just yet. Wait.
Just for everyone else's perspective, you guys are all crowded in the door. She's a medium-sized dragon. She and Grindelwafel and Eve We're all now looking at whatever else there is to look at and sharing chocolate covered coffee beans between us.
I like it.
The one thing is I'm actually fairly confident that after he's run down the corridor and get killed by the trap, I'm not so sure what the rest is.
Yeah.
I guess with that though, like Lonnie's now saying that like they're checking the traps and all that stuff. I'll ask both Tolkis and Dracula, does it appear as if this trap has been sprung at all? There's no evidence of the archaeologist. How did she get through?
Archaeologist looking at is the fact that it would quite possibly the trap did spring and has reset itself in the sense of the trap caused a. So effectively, we're looking at we're at the top of the stairwell, was it?
You're at the top of 4 stairs from the entryway.
Oh, it's only 4 stairs, and then it goes off in a flat. The corridor continues straight on. Alright?
Can I see any rocks out here?
There are lots of rocks. You're on the edge of a mountain.
I get Gridwall for the pass one in.
I'll grab one from Waffle to
We'll do a little fireman's.
Okay, so a rock comes in with a little face drawn on the front of it, reminding you of Autolycus.
I'm going to throw
That was
the rock
probably
with some force
At the ground.
at the pressure plate.
Okay. The one just in front of you?
It'd be funny if the face turns to a sad face.
Maybe one of the ones a little bit further along.
Okay. So, as you throw it, I will get each of you to make a reflex saving throw, or dexterity saving throw.
Each of you.
That's inside.
Inside? Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to get unfortunately I couldn't work out what the trap was. Now we can just work out its pressure plate. So we're going to find out.
24 for Dracula.
21.
23.
I am so happy that I'm wearing this armor.
Okay, so outside the tomb you hear the tomb you hear the sound of a high energy crackle.
I hear that.
Yep, you and Lull and Drazzle outside.
I poke my head through the door far enough to see it.
Well, I was about to describe what they see on the inside. It's describing on the outside first because it leaves a little bit of suspense for those inside.
Fair enough.
Of course.
So inside the tomb you get a glimpse of lightning arcing throughout the length of the corridor in front of you, bouncing off the walls before you close your eyes because it's so bright in there that if you kept them open you probably wouldn't be seeing anymore.
Yep.
And the reflex save was to stop yourself from being blinded.
Nice.
Right.
Did we get the indication of how far the electricity extended before closing your eyes?
It extended at least 30 feet down.
But it didn't hit the stairs.
It didn't reach the stairs, but it hit the area just in front of the stairs as it bounced between the statues all the way down.
Right.
So I'm a bit confused about the description of the corridor.
So it's a 10-foot. So it's a 10-foot wide corridor that starts after 4 stairs going down.
Right, okay, so we're effectively at the top of a short staircase.
You are.
And the electricity starts at the bottom of the staircase.
It starts at the bottom of the staircase, bouncing either side, and along the corridor are Anubis statues either side of the stairwell, forming the equivalent of columns along the passageway.
Yeah, okay.
And the lightning arcs between each of the statues without touching the statues.
Looking at the statue. How far away is the first statue?
The first statue is about 10 feet from the stairwell. You gotta get across a 5-foot pressure plate.
Well, I can maybe try and jump it.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 10 feet. I have... Where is it?
I believe it's an athletics DC 10 to jump that far.
You can make a running long jump or a running high jump of moving only 5 foot, 1 foot rather than 10 foot.
Well, you don't have 5 feet to run.
Yeah, I'm going to make an attempt to jump.
So what's your athletics?
It's great. Really great. I think I'm proficient. Oh yes, I'm proficient, so it is +4.
So you got a chance of making it.
Not there. The thing is, if I fail, I have also have a chance of not taking any damage from lightning. So, direct.
It's nice being a rogue.
But that's the thing is, like, we can't tell how long the corridor is.
Because the light doesn't give any dim light. The dim
He's
light is-
thinking that if he gets to the place between the Anubis statues, he's thinking he'll be safe. It's only a short jump to that first step.
Actually, he thinks the Anubis statues are the safe part, not the stuff in between them.
The lightning didn't touch the
Yeah, okay,
statues.
yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
Alright,
So you actually kind of jump to a statue, effectively. While he's lining himself up and setting himself to the jump,
Yep.
Dracnima will attempt to effectively disable wall pressure plates.
24.
Okay.
That's
Okay, you make the jump and land on the statue perfectly, and the statue doesn't move.
okay, so never.
And you'll pass some of the pressure points, and nothing happens.
Okay, using my light, let's see, where's the next statue?
The next statue is to jump from this one to the next one. You have to go diagonally, so you're looking at jumping 10 feet.
So, does anyone else know?
Not yet.
I'll go with someone. I've got 50 foot of rope, so can I tie the rope here?
So, from the GM's perspective, I might point out that you do have someone who can fly.
Yeah, this is why I'm asking whether or not I'm allowed to do the two.
Yeah.
So, Lull can fly, Dracnima can fly, and Calcridge can fly.
Plus, Lull's
I
got a
can take somebody
carpet.
else with me.
Yeah. So, with that, I might
But
just.
I can't even see the room to suggest
I was gonna
any of
say
this.
I might hold up Tulkas, and now that we have space for both Will and Calcris, tell them to come in to help assess while Dracula is working on.
There's also a test to make sure there wasn't something else that would trigger when you
That's fair.
go across.
That's why I thought I'd suggest that before you make the next leap.
As much as I admire all the jumping, which ironically I can't because I'm not even in the room, Lull does have a flying carpet.
But potentially what could happen if we looked on the flying carpet flying across and there would have been something else that got triggered.
So the issue with a flying carpet is he has to be careful where he rolls it out.
Yeah. The other thing is that I can fly as well, so that's the other
Yeah,
thing.
we still didn't know if there was anything that was going to trigger anything.
Yeah. So which is
Well,
a
I've
good
got
reason.
60 for the dark vision, so if we discovered if I could see, that would be a step towards being able to tell you what's in front of us as well.
But we needed the space for you.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah, no. I was just waiting. That's all.
Alright,
So, yeah.
let's get the flying I suppose.
I don't mind being outside. I just feel like it'd be
But while I'm on the statue, can I have a look to see if anyone else has recently jumped across the statue or been on the statue?
Okay. So, give me a investigation.
That would be a 17.
17. Looking at it, you do see some scuff marks, but you also notice something interesting. The statue's not in the same position it was that you landed on.
What?
The statue's not in the same position it was standing in that you landed on.
So when you landed on it, it's now shifted position.
So the statue itself is like made a different pose, or
It seems to have changed its pose slightly.
Okay.
You made the puppy
Take note of what the pose is now.
The pose doesn't look much different, but it has changed from when you landed on it.
So not a menacing change, but just a change.
Yeah, what move? Was it an arm or is it looking in a different direction or what?
Hard to tell because he didn't roll well enough on his investigation.
Oh,
So, and because he landed on it, did he get that check? And so the rest of you are now in on the stairwell.
Can I see? Which is
Yes, you can see Autolycus with a lantern hanging off a Anubis dog-like statue.
See anything else?
You can see a couple of X markings on the floor in front of you, which you've heard from the others don't stand here markings.
Okay. And there's nothing else I can discern.
Not at this stage.
Not even the capacity to see into that.
Not even with that.
Do I realise that I should be able to see more, but I'm not?
You would think you could see further, but you can't.
Okay.
The one that you'll notice is the lantern, for example, shows bright light up to 30, but not the dim light that normally would show.
And I tug on Lull's cloak, and I'm like, I should be able to see more, and I can't. I suspect that this area is shrouded in darkness by magic.
What spell is, or what class is it that has dispelled darkness as a spell?
Dispel darkness is usually done through light spells.
Okay. I do have daylight available, but I do not have it presently.
Another way.
I can't remember how long it takes a warlock to change the spells it is. I think I've got 11.
It's generally a long rest to change spells for any class that can change spells.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but warlock's sort of going.
Oh, it's like sort of...
Because that's memorized spells.
You can swap around.
It is a level. If daylight were a ritual spell, it wouldn't be an issue.
You
But
have
it's not.
spell magic?
I do.
I do have dispel magic. Do I have it memorized? Yes, I do. I will attempt to dispel magic at 5th level.
Okay.
That's the maximum I can do. Do I roll on that, or does the spell roll defense against it?
I will look that up. Sorry, gotta switch books around.
Yeah. Plus I've got to update, so I've got 5th level spells listed too.
Entering magic.
Use one creature object with magical effect in range. Any spell 3rd level on the target ends. Each spell 4th level or higher on the target makes an ability check using your spellcasting ability. DC is 10 plus spell level. On a successful check, the spell ends. Okay, yeah, so you're rolling your spellcasting.
Yeah, 50 spellcasting versus each spell level plus 10.
Yep. And assuming it's all level 4 spell.
I would guess that.
Okay.
When you cast a spell at a 4th level or higher, you automatically end spells at the effects of the spell's level equal to or less. So in your case, if you're casting a 5th level spell, that's right.
And you're only, and which effect specifically are you targeting, or which creature or which object?
Yeah, you've got that's what I was just looking at.
The darkness effect on the door,
Okay.
Magical effect.
or on the entry.
Okay. So that will require a actual check.
Yep. Which means it's...
So ability check.
Yep. Which means daylight wasn't going to cut it. Unless I
Well,
cast
he's
daylight.
targeting the seals for the tomb. Is what he's targeting.
Yeah. And if I was doing daylight, it wouldn't be useful because I can't cast it as a normal spell. It's only a ritual, which means it's limited level. I got an 18, which means it'll hit a 4th level spell.
Okay. So nothing seems to have changed.
Okay. I could do it again and hope for a higher roll, but
I don't think it would be worth.
This is, okay, you're trying to stop the darkness that's blocking the doorway. As soon as we're through the doorway, standard light will work.
yeah, just won't pass through it.
Yeah.
Well, it was useful if you
Why
could
did you do
remove it from the doorway to see if you could remove it at all, because that would
See,
that would suggest that if you can remove it, well then it's worth looking at removing the magic effect
Exactly.
from other places.
We
I certainly wouldn't bother trying it here.
No, I'm not going to do it again. I didn't say I would. It's just, yes, it's a useful test to give an indication of
I would say
the
that
level
would
of things
be
we're
an
facing.
insight roll.
Which roll, sorry?
For Tolicus, who was asking a specific question.
Alright, no, cool.
I also wanted to ask
Does Dracula feel that he's been able to disable?
Could people just give me one person talking at a time, please?
Apologies.
Okay, so Ariadna, what was the question?
I was wondering if I could search my memory, see if I could remember if I've learned anything about this kind of magic in my travels. And I
Okay.
think that's an
Give me an Arcana roll.
Arcana.
Jeremy, what were you saying again?
Just wondering whether or not Dracula's been able to disable the pressure plates and or effectively clear a path for at least the first 5-10 feet or whatever.
You could probably have spent about a minute or so disabling the first 5 feet of traps.
With a 24 on the disabled device, or the installed, I should say.
Okay, so I am going to get people to give me a initiative roll in a moment.
Carry on. So I don't think I learned anything. It's only a 12.
So on a 12, this does remind you of some of the places in the Lost City where you met the Queen of Darkness.
Yep.
It does feel about that sort of stuff, meaning it's a mixture of mechanical and magical trigger, meaning you might stop the mechanical trigger but you won't stop the magical trigger.
Okay. So no matter what we do, we need to be very careful.
Yes, they were designed by people who merge magic and technology.
Well, I would let at least Lull or whoever's next to me know that I have come across this before in other Yawning tombs, and I'm
Right.
sure that this can be easily dissipated.
They've been designed specifically to take out tomb robbers, which technically you guys are at the moment.
Apparently. Yep. I just wanted to ask a theoretical question.
Yes.
To know if it's possible. Why someone like an elemental or an elemental animal and it's on a fire, say it's an elemental owl or something like that, does that provide sight even in like a darkened room like this, or is that?
Not necessarily.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious.
But if it's an elemental of fire, it's probably going to create its own light.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'll create its own light, and technically if you've got one that can fly, it was just
So you want someone to throw something on the floor while you're standing on the statue? So I am going to ask it. I did ask if you could give me an initiative roll.
all of a sudden.
Dracula's on 7 downgraded.
Oh, not you either. Did you say initiative?
Yes, I did.
22. You make me above lights.
I can't read my
Instead of yelling at it, I'll just.
Yeah, no, my brain can't remember what it's called.
Like it was a stick.
That is right.
It is.
I'm pretty sure you can read the dice.
So, what was Luell's initiative?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, what was Trolicus's initiative? And what was Calcrix's?
Twelve. 13.
Okay, so Lani notices the 6 statues in the passageway all turn to look at the party. Lani, what do you do?
Oh,
I say, everybody hold still, do not move on to the place. The statues are moving.
And you also see that the statues have sharp claws coming out of their fingertips.
Oh.
I tell everybody, do not move on to the place.
No.
And you also see Autolycus standing on one of these statues.
On one of the feet.
No, not one of their feet, he's actually perched on the statue itself.
Is the statue looking at him or at the party?
It's currently looking at Lonnie.
At Lonnie. Lonnie is not moving on to the place. She grabs, what would be good?
Well, the stories of the people who once inhabited here, they were fire elemental people.
Oh, they're directly against me.
And you are the opposing force that has just entered their tomb.
Yeah. I will have ready for a quick draw, but mainly just kind of backing away, trying to not defensive, but not trying to appear as if I'm trying to barge in or enter anything, I suppose. Is the best I can say. And I can't tell if these things are intelligent or not, and so I'll just say, don't move, we're not entering, we are just searching.
They look like they're made out of stone.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And I said, just don't move on to the place. And she will have quick draw, like, ready to quick draw anything she needs, but yeah. No.
Okay, so then they get to go.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Firstly, with Autolycus, the one you're standing on seems to move slightly as it strikes at you with two claws. What is your armor class? 17. So the 19 and the 20 both hit. You take, that would be 12 points of slashing damage. All up. Okay, the other 5 of them seem to move into what resembles an attack stance, but don't step forward. So it is now Autolycus. You're sort of bleeding from the side there, as the as your purchase place has just stabbed you.
Okay, as a bonus action, I'm going to try using my insightful fighting, which means I make an insight check versus their deception check, and if I win, I get to sneak attack the motherfucker.
Can you sneak attack constructs?
I think you can sneak attack anything.
You can't sneak attack everything. I know that for a...
As a sneak attack, once per turn you can do an extra 5d6 damage to one creature you use with an attack.
Yep.
That's a creature.
And some creatures are listed exclusively immune to sneak attack.
Specifically creatures within the monster area with
Every other creature, yeah. Yeah, but they're immune to sneak attack.
Yeah, like undead you can't.
Wow.
Got books going everywhere.
You currently changes from the version of that.
That's also true.
We're just looking up constructs in particular.
Sorry?
Little mini cartridge still into the pineapple.
Yes, they do. It's actually watermelon. It's yellow watermelon. Why is it yellow? Because there's such a thing as yellow watermelon.
I saw that in the supermarket. What was it like?
How is it?
Round.
It tastes like yellow watermelon. It's kind of like a slightly tropical.
It don't taste like watermelon normally?
Interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit spongier than watermelon is, but it tastes like, I guess, what you would consider a more tropical version of watermelon would taste like you could say mixed with, say, mango or pineapple, but it's not mango-y or pineapple-y.
I kind of get what you mean, yeah.
You're welcome to try this if you don't like
So-
it. Just chuck it in.
I'm assuming you can still sneak attack it. Okay, so give me a roll if you're going to do that.
11.
Kevin's like, yeah, I'm gonna sneak attack it. Nah.
Oh, that's like 20 guys. He's next to him.
Yeah.
You have to say no. 211.
He's still going to roll. It's going to pay check. I don't know how to see fully yet. It's fine. I'm just going to stab it there.
It's the red die, so they really roll less than 10.
Don't ever trust whatever. He has to roll the dice. They're just gonna roll high, no matter what they roll.
That's fine, but it's still like there was a chance he was going to roll low.
I had one chance.
So what's the chance?
I'm going to stab him with my short sword. Okay. What's the level up rules for weapons, man? So, I can give you attack action. 15.
15. You hit.
Okay.
Oh, now
So 7 points.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
think
that's
so.
I have
12 points
so.
damage.
12 points of damage.
You
Okay,
can
so
arrow
yes.
those things
You
explode.
see a chunk of rock fly off as you hit it with your sword, and see a bit of heat flash up at you.
that's not good.
So how much damage was that all up again? 12.
I'm sure I'm the base damage of the weapon. I don't know if there's something else about weapons.
Yeah.
With the weapon proficiency, assuming, would you have chosen that as your main weapon?
Sure, by sword advancing backward, yeah.
So that means I would probably say it has at least 2 levels of weapon mastery if it's your thing of it. So that means you'd have another 2 dice to roll on top of that. So this would also be added to your sneak attack if you did sneak attack.
4 points.
4 more points.
I just went to probably I don't use 2.5 of these guys actually moving and engage.
Okay. So it is now Lull's turn. What would Lull like to do, seeing Autolycus strike out with the blade, and you get you even see the heat emanate from the creature as he strikes it.
Right. Yeah, it's generating heat.
Basically, where he hits it, he sees the shimmering of heat when you see like steam or that sort of thing come off something. Sees a chunk of stone fly off it. It doesn't seem to have flesh.
Yeah. He didn't take any damage from that heat, flash of heat, though, did he?
He did not.
At least from that hit, anyway. I'm going to do an Eldritch Blast, as I do. All 3 of them are going to go at that particular statue.
Okay.
That's fighting. So I will get the D10 to save time. Uh, 22
22 is a hit.
for 14 damage.
14 damage. Okay.
Yep. This is force damage as a default, so he's unlikely to be immune to it.
Okay, you see chunks of stone go flying off from where you hit it. Also see the heat come out from those spots.
Okay, so the second hit, that's going to miss.
What was it? Was it a natural 1?
No, it's a 2.
Okay.
Not quite a natural.
What was your total?
I didn't shoot myself in the foot.
What was the total?
12.
Just missed.
Okay.
So the thing is, if you say you miss and you would normally hit, you have declared a miss. So you should say what armor
I
class
should
you
add it
have.
up anyway.
Yes,
especially
please.
if the armor class is low, obviously. So
Yes, please.
Yep. All right. So
what dice
this
would
one.
you like?
No, this one's 24.
24 is a hit.
Yep, for 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Okay, you see another flash of heat rise up off it as you see a crack go through it.
All right. I'm going to call that my guess. Watch out for a burst of fire when they die.
I could have actually got my sneak attack. I could use a reaction with my sword to get an attack with advantage instead if it hits me.
So you could if it hits you as a reaction?
Yeah. I just didn't realise that was my bad.
No, it's okay. Normally in a combat round you have, because you're never surprised. Are you never surprised? Okay, in which case then you could have done it on the first round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next time.
You only get surprised if you're actually unaware of it.
So the player's handbook's actually on the shelf there, but
There's another one. Well, there's one down in the pile here. I was just going to
okay. This one there, grab that one in the pile. Okay, so that was Lull's round of hitting the statues. What would Calprix like to do?
Destructive Wave says that I can choose targets to hit. And I choose, in theory,
Just on the
statues.
I look at that.
It's
This is all correct. Destructive wave. You strike the ground, creating a burst of divine energy that ripples outwards from you. Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or take thunder as well as radiant or necrotic damage to your choice, and be knocked prone.
I don't know if
The creature that succeeds on its saving throw takes half as much damage and is knocked prone. Yes, I believe that would be a good time to drop a 5th level spell.
work on constructs.
It should work on constructs.
And the distance was my last question.
It will reach the entire length of what you can see.
Okay, alright. I
You
do
can
that.
prob-
Is that a
maybe-
D20 to see if I hit?
There is no roll on your
You
side.
can,
So I just
you go with only going to affect enemies.
Yes, she chooses the targets.
Okay, marvelous.
So just roll damage?
Let me look at the thing again.
Yep.
So you're rolling. You roll 5d6 twice. So first time for fire and second time for radiant.
Okay, so that's D6.
Yep.
Alright, so highest to lowest a 5, and 3 2s.
You just added up.
16, sorry.
So 16 fire damage.
Don't need to shake. That's better. 10 and 10. 20.
And 20 radiant damage.
What I feel like about 5th edition, that the spell's got a saving throw, you don't have to roll the hit, and if you roll the hit, there's no saving throw.
Yes.
It's sort of frustrating the old editions where you get a hit and then they save and you're like, oh.
Sometimes it's for extra effects, but most of the time the core effect happens if you hit it. And then for secondary effects, they just the way they did most of that. They just
Or they're saving. Or they're saving for half damage.
I have no idea where it went. It was a token.
I'll go.
Oh, so flipped out. I think it's behind.
It's right by your foot. Yeah.
I'm just trying not to leave too much stuff all over the place.
The really handy thing is that Martin's read that this is my memory's not picking stuff up from the house or
Okay. So it has affected. I say your DC should be on the start of the spell casting.
Oh, armor class?
Your spell DC.
8 plus your
It's all written on there. So.
Should be on one. But I believe the base
Basic DC?
Yeah, yes, for spell.
13.
Is that your spell book? Take options. Got that one. Should be a spell book page. On top of your spell book.
There are a lot of pages now.
I know.
And they're not numbers, so. So this is.
Could you pass me the other ones? Just pass me those. Spellcasting. Okay, so you're.
Oh, okay. Where did I miss it?
I thought it was going to be here at the top of this. Obviously, I didn't add it in there.
Everyone else at home now.
So it should be 17. So 5 plus proficiency of 9 added to 8 is 17.
Should I write that on top?
Yeah.
all of my spells.
That's very good. Spellcasting stat plus your proficiency bonus plus 8.
This one I had to see if it was all on there properly because she might have had other bonuses.
Good enough.
That's good enough. Okay, so first one fails. Second one succeeds. Third one fails. Fourth one fails. Fifth one fails. And sixth one fails.
That's a good effort.
Okay.
That's
Good job.
well,
You did it.
hurrying to look through to see what
is it? Yeah.
So I really appreciate you making
So
one
one statue is not knocked over, and the other 5 are, including the one Tolokis is on.
Alright.
And they fall into the pressure plates, setting off the lightning trap on top of that.
Did I get any extra moves? And should I have done the other move I was going to ask about first? Which I really can't do now.
Normally you wait until after you've cast your spell, so your spell goes off, then you can do other things, but you don't do things in the middle of casting the spell.
Oh, well, the other spell that I was thinking of doing, which I probably can't do this time around, and possibly should have done first, was a sphere of resilience. But I figured I couldn't do a sphere of resilience on him while he's on the construct.
The only two sort of you only cast 2 spells, one of them has to be a cantrip with casting time or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, it's a cantrip with a casting time of an action which you cast something as a bonus action.
Yeah.
And then you have to cast a spell as a bonus action unless you've got training, in which case then you can learn to do stuff differently. So, Tolokis might be taking a crap load of damage if he fails his saving throw.
Did you fail?
I don't know. I'm about to find out. That's a 13.
That's a 13. Would you believe 13's the magic number?
Oh my gosh.
I rolled before.
Considering I rolled 4d10 and the average is 22, and I...
It's a dex save.
It is a dex save.
So I take 0.
So the average roll is a 22, and I rolled 31.
Because I made my save, and it's 0.
Yes, basically you manage to use the statues as a buffer as you roll between the strikes.
Noting that Mima had effectively gone down the stairs and was 5 foot into the back corridor.
Dracula should also make a roll.
Is in effect?
Dracnomy's result is particularly spectacular.
Dracnomy is in the area of effect,
Yep, and he gets 24 on his reflex save.
but he does it in style.
Whereas Tolokis
I'm assuming I take half damage?
Do you have evasion, Jeremy? As a rogue?
No.
You never got high enough?
I'm a 6th level rogue, so not 7.
In which case you take half rounded down, I believe it is. Or is it rounded up?
Well, didn't you have 22?
It was 31.
Or 31? Okay. And
Then it is 16 points of lightning damage to Jeremy.
so I take 20 points of lightning damage.
If you succeed normally, you take half damage.
No, but because I'm earth-based, I take my proficiency bonus as a penalty on
does.
damage. And I'm earth-based. So 20 points.
So even though he won, he might still...
He still gets hit. Whereas he would have taken a lot more otherwise. He would have taken 35.
Failure would have been bad. Oh, well, healing time for me.
So I've got one
Higher
more
roll.
levels of rogue, other people related, which means on a dex save, if I fail, I take half, if I make it.
So in terms of videos of fails, you're walking along, you trip over, tumble, somehow end up on your feet and keep walking.
Yeah.
Whereas Jeremy doesn't look like he fell over as much, but looks like someone's beat the crap out of him on the other side.
He zipped where he should have zagged. So, looking around you, you can see that 5 of the statues are just broken to pieces, and one of them is still standing there looking in your direction. The one that was across the alley, across the pathway from where
And
you were.
so they hit onto the plates, and that didn't.
That triggered the lightning to go all up and down.
Okay, so it did trigger them, and that's the damage I took.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Just for next time, so I can try and remember. That was resilience sphere. In terms of turns of play, if I wanted to cast that on to, say, Pulse, would I do that first and then wait for my next go on the round to strike the statues? Is that how it would work?
That would work, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Except then he wouldn't have been able to do the amazing dodge thing he did because he's a rogue.
Would he have not had to do it? The sphere of resilience around it?
He wouldn't have had to do it.
Okay.
He wouldn't have had a choice. It's just like this. He's been held in place by this sphere.
How quickly makes a mental note for next time to maybe cast that spell first before she casts the
So your resilient sphere spell is a not now spell.
Yeah.
You basically say put baby in the corner over there.
Yeah, that's okay.
I thought you'd like the corner.
Is it just that one turn?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so that was Calcus.
And so yes, so that was just Calcrix's action. Does Calcrix do anything after that? As you've just thrown waves of fire and positive and radiant energy down the passageway.
Do I have any
always
other
good.
actions I can take?
Well, you technically bonus and free action, so movement. You can technically fly down the corridor and go.
That's still one
Statue.
statue. Can I just target just that one with another discussion?
No, because you've used your action.
See, if
I've
you
used
do
action,
it,
so the intersection means that I can.
the problem with that spell is if you cast it, you can't cast another spell because it's concentration.
It's only 1 minute though.
Oh no, she can cast any spell that's not concentration. So a person who's got a concentration can only have one concentration spell going at a time, and they can cast any other spell besides the concentration.
The thing with that though, if you put it on somebody rather than cold like a hamster triggering all the traps.
Yeah, the other one's not
Yeah,
concentration,
I've done that. I've held a concentration check on and healed people while doing it.
So I could do things like healing or I
Movement.
could do a direct strike to the statue.
Not really. You've got movement. As a bonus action, you could scratch at it as you fly past. But
Can I fly down the room to see, like, can I do a loop to see if there's...
you can do a loop down.
Yeah, I just want to do a loop to see what else I can see.
With flight speed, does that mean she moves 30 feet back?
She can move 30 feet. Or 40 feet, I think.
I was gonna say flight speed, so it would be 20 feet down, 20 feet back, right?
It's more than 20 feet. So she can, if she wants to go there and back, then she has to do 20 feet.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
happy to work within whatever rules I need to work within. But
With your movement, you can move down 40 feet and find that you've gone beyond the light of Autolycus.
Okay, and can I see anything?
We'll tell you afterwards.
That's fine.
As you reach the light point is when your turn finishes.
That's fine. Yep.
So then we move on to the next person, who is Drachnomy, who's now hair standing up on end and has that look of lots of pent-up energy ready to go.
Feels a little sparky.
Well, except that I'm assuming that I don't act in the first round having rolled a 1 for initiative.
If you touch him, you'll get hit with static electricity.
We can even say that's the reason why you don't act in the first round if you like.
Yeah, that's fair.
He does look a little shocked.
I figured if I rolled a 1 for initiative, I wasn't acting in the first round.
That was true, that's what I normally do. So yes, we're back to Lani. What does Lani do to see all this stuff happen?
I was gonna say, did Lull give us a strike?
Lull did have a turn. He threw bolts of energy at the statue.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Beat chunks off it.
And with his amazing dexterity, Autolycus did manage not to break his lantern in the process.
That's pretty good. Yeah, with that,
You took no damage, your items take no damage.
breaking the statues and all that stuff. Like,
There's one still standing.
she's gonna throw her trident at the one still standing and see what happens, I guess. So that is a
Here, this is the reason to hear.
You do hit with the dice roll.
I for sure. Yeah, I got a 22, whatever. I just have to look at the throne. Because I forgot the throne damage.
There's a reset on the pressure plates. Either that or on their turn I'm going to get lightning bolts because they're on the pressure plates.
Okay.
I
So
don't think
throw.
12. I should have actually.
Throw. Hit it. 22. That'll be.
My action economy is at 51.
17 damage with the trident, and then the lightning damage. Piercing lightning.
It hits it quite well.
And then it'll come back to
Yep.
me.
And you can rethrow it multiple times.
I was gonna say, does it look like it's still?
It does look like it's still standing.
I'm going to try to hit it again, I guess, and then that'll be. Ooh, that might not be good. 12. I think I missed.
It actually missed.
12 hit last time.
No, 12 was the one off last time.
Yeah.
I went off.
I just went.
Good. Glancing below.
Glancing makes so I kind of missed, but then it. Here's the question though. So I'm throwing it, it misses, it hits the wall. When does the trident come back to me?
Straight away.
Okay, it comes back to me straight away. So the question becomes, does it fall into the floor? Is the question.
That could be.
And it's a lightning trident! What are the rules?
You could just stuck in the wall, or just hit the wall, but it bounce back to you.
Yeah, if it immediately hit and then came back.
Her one basically piecing her hand after it strikes the target.
Yeah, so as soon as it makes contact with whatever it makes contact with, so in this case the wall, then it becomes.
Or goes a certain distance from it.
Yeah, and then it comes back. So
if you were to like throw it off the edge of a world, once it goes a certain distance, it comes back. If you were to drop it off the edge of the world, it will just keep dropping.
yeah. So it's something like throw it.
Yes, it has to be thrown. I found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, watch this.
Yeah, that's about the quality again, isn't it?
Yeah, he got disarmed and the bouncing dropped out off his hand, and it's like, hey, someone back to my. That was with one of his hammers.
Oh no. Okay. That's the only 2 moves that I want to take.
You
Okay.
don't want to retrieve any lightning.
I don't want to use my second wave for just this, so that's not gonna happen.
Okay, so the creature leans over and attacks Trollicus with a double strike of its long claw. So I can only hit you once, sir.
That's nice.
So it hits you for 6 piercing damage.
Okay, I will take that 6 and I will use my reaction to attack it back with my sword, which means I can do sneak attack because it's with advantage.
Give him a manicure.
Oh, God's sake. 16 does hit. Okay, so the damage I rolled before, so the sword does.
3d6.
So it's 5d6 sneak attack.
Is that 5d6 for level?
Yeah.
And then add another 2 dice for your training.
That's 7d6 and d6 plus 8 for the sword itself.
And then you add 3d6 for the sword.
So
Sneak attacks do a lot of damage.
They do.
okay. So I'll do the sneak attack first. So it's 8d. So you said an extra
7d6.
7. Okay. So for the sneak attack, that's 10, 13, and 6 dice. You reckon? So it's 1 extra dice on my 5.
It was just 2 extra dice.
Okay, so it's not 3. So I said 16 just then, didn't I?
Yes.
Yep. Plus 14.
14. Don't have to worry about your weapon dice. Your sneak attack damage is enough for it to shatter and fall on top of you. You feel the hot rock bounce off you. No, it does not.
Teach you to hit me, you bastard. Yeah, unfortunately I've got a really bad action economy. So I've got 2 options when I get hit. I can either use my sword's reaction, or I can use my other reaction to reduce damage with evasion.
They are choices.
Yeah.
So as the statue falls, it does not trigger the lightning.
It does not trigger the lightning.
So then maybe we've got time to start moving down the corridor.
You think that they were powered by fire.
Good to know.
Fire magic.
Yeah.
Having a quick look at the pressure plates look like they're still active.
All the pressure plates look like they're pushed down, all along the corridor, considering there's broken statues on all of them.
Well, I can go find out what you got.
Either way is now clear.
You are currently out of combat and immediately move over to Calcrix. As you flew past the last statue, you find yourself going through another wall of blackness.
So I can't see anything.
And once you get past the other side, your dive vision kicks in, and you can see there are passages either side of you, and a alcove atrium in front of you.
Okay.
I will fly back into all the others. Assuming I make it through.
And as you fly back, you see Tolikas strike the last statue, and it sort of explode in little chunks of flaming rock.
Yep. And I'm like, good shot. Did you need healing? I will land next to Tolikas and hope I don't get electrified.
Okay, it doesn't affect you as much.
Okay, alright. Considering I'm technically lightning is one of my things. So healing spell cure wounds or something.
Yes, you can be touched by a dragon
Yep.
That would be.
for the very first time.
It would be. Yes, thank you. It would be an interesting thing for Calcrix to aim at, is become all elements.
But she's already collected two.
Exactly. That's why I was thinking it.
What's the... Isn't there like a sex toy called Tropic Dragon or something?
Quite possibly.
Guaranteed, probably.
Is it not cure wounds?
It's called Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I have.
They're ordered by level, so it should be first level spell.
Yep.
You don't have to give it top cures anymore, it's just curing. It's
God.
a higher level.
It's just cure cast at a particular level, and it's always level 1 as a base.
Unless you pull the
I've still got anomalies out of water, so it's just even harder to find
Yeah.
I was intending to turn it into a book, but my hands haven't been up to it.
Yeah. The cast amount is your slot level, or whatever level you cast it at, times 1d8 plus your casting stat.
So just 1d8.
If you're doing a basic one, it's 1d8. You can do it for the second level one for 2d8.
How badly wounded are you?
Down. What is it? 45, so down 10 points.
Okay, so
Haven't we?
at least
I think.
second level.
I think we should both heal him.
Yeah, but that says if you're healing like 5th level.
Double team healing!
Yeah, I can do it at 5th level without issue.
Yeah, I can. Well, did that heal all of you?
5th level. Good. Unless you roll really bad.
Well, I'm there, but I don't mind if you want to do it.
Just asking if Paul wants to use up his one of his or his second mage spell.
We're only in the first
Yeah,
room.
so your spells well, because you have to cast it at 5th level, don't you?
No, he doesn't. He casts it at lower
not
level.
anymore. I level up. In level up, I choose the level it's cast at. I have spell points. If I cast spells at maximum level, then I get 2 casts per short rest. Although I've got an item which will allow me another one per day.
Do you want to use that up now, or do you want to let the dragon do it?
Yeah, I was going to say I can do it.
I'll let Calcrix do it. He's got more spells than I do at a time.
Well, 16, so
But-
top your way 2d8s.
Plus your spellcasting stat.
Yeah.
Oh, plus
Plus 5.
Yeah, okay, so.
I know most of the 5.
10 and 15.
So
So that's not
15.
too bad. So it's only 3 off the 4.
Okay, this one, 3 points.
And it's better to under heal than over heal because
Well, doesn't a celestial warlock have the healing hook, like the D6s?
most of them do. And Calcrix does tell you that there's another wall of
Darkness.
what's most likely the other end of the wall of darkness, at the other end of the corridor.
Oh.
So basically, you're in a zone that suppresses light.
So what you have here,
It's most likely designed around the entryway as
you have a
a
quick search and such to see if there's anything of value in them. Gems, any...
There is nothing inside the statues except for heat.
Value if you like hot rock massages, I guess.
Until they cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes the major construction is like a gem or something used patterns or something.
I guess with that.
Dimitri will go, Jackie will go and have a look at the corridor past, like basically the end of where the last statue was.
Yep.
And looking for evidence of archaeologists having walked past.
As we walk past, Lonnie will switch from the trident to the sunblade. The sunblade has 15-foot radius of bright light and 15 dim light past that. But as I'm sure it'll change when we get past whatever this end of darkness is.
Okay, so when Dimitri steps past it, he does see the stairs either side. And it looks as if the footsteps are visible again heading up to the right.
So did I have to go past through the darkness barrier again?
You did.
Okay, well, I like to make a light spell, effectively, like a light cantrip, as I get to the other side. So.
Yep. And your goggles stop flickering. The zone really was something that it was a seal. So it was guarded against me.
So effectively there were 3 pathways from this atrium area?
There was 2 sets of stairs going down further, and the passageway continues forward. Into an area.
And the footsteps go down one of the staircases?
They go down to the staircase to the right.
Yep, okay. And with a light source of a 20 bright, 20 dim, can I see the end of the atrium area?
You can see the end of the atrium area. You see 2 statues that basically depict a restrained Efreeti flanked by genies.
Yeah.
So it looks like a bunch of Jedi, or what are they called? Jinn. That's the correct term. Jinn.
The Captain will then be basically looking at the staircase with the going down the footsteps, and just see if you can find any traps down that pathway, while allowing the others to come through and work out what they're going to do from there. But basically it's going to be the pathway that the archaeologist apparently followed.
Okay, as you go down the steps, you start to see glinting of scales.
Okay. I won't be going down very far, obviously. Has everyone else come through the darkness wall?
At this stage, I'll say the others make it through the darkness area.
Yep.
There's other light sources around them. Look at it, actually turn away.
May as well save the lantern for when it's needed.
Oh,
Yes.
I've got the goggles on. Good night. That's all mine. I've got the dark vision.
Okay. So
Well, okay, so obviously people are aware that what we're saying, but in fact, everyone mentioned that it would appear that our archaeologist went down this staircase.
Right.
It appears to be something at the bottom there. I can't work out whether it's
You want me to go
metallic or reptilian. Or both.
Dark vision stealth to go to look.
Yep.
No, okay, if you're happy to go down this way with the go forward, then
Did you also just go back now?
The,
Grabbed the Mystara and told people they could leave.
Yes. See if I can see without getting too close.
Okay, so looking down there, you can see the glinting of brass scales.
Does it remind me of anything to do with from like history?
Reminds you of the dragon.
Just a dragon? A whispering draconic. Is that a dragon down there? We'll just quietly ask. Is this a respond?
Well, if you're whispering, I was wondering if anyone else answers.
You would maybe want to call.
Well,
probably, considering you're probably standing next to Jack Nemo, he'll say, looks like it to me.
That was what I was waiting for.
Yeah, it's a draconic.
sorry.
So now there's just two people draconic at the top of the stairs. Like, hey, does that look like a dragon?
Sorry. Whisper is not the word I wanted to use.
Yes.
My brain was just looking for a
Quietly
word.
called out.
Yeah, I don't want to yell after it. I don't want to startle it or anything. But yes.
At an appropriate level, call down to
Yes.
whatever is down there.
And my brain was struggling to come up with adjectives. Yeah, adjectives.
Yeah. Adjective. Yeah, I could send my familiar down to have a look, which means not worrying about weight on the steps.
Well, do the stairs go down straight, or are we talking...
They go down straight. They go down at least 15 feet from the passageway, which is why you have to go down the stairs a bit to actually see into the room.
Yep. And obviously with the light source going 20 and 20, I can see that the glinting of the scales.
Yep.
Whatever potentially knows what years was on one.
I will.
Well, anything
Yeah, I will.
the light source is quite obvious at this point.
Yeah, I will send Oyo down, my familiar, to fly around in a circle while I look down through his eyes.
Okay, you see a what appears to be a brass dragon lying on its side, a young brass dragon.
Does he look asleep or dead?
He's got two darts sticking out of his side.
Okay, that looks pretty bad. Alright, I will recall Oyo, and I will inform the others. There appears to be a either very sick or dead brass dragon, young one down the bottom.
What's my relationship with that?
Jack Nemo will go down the stairs and see...
It is one of the metallic ones.
Do I have any?
They are more of the official leadership roles in the dragon community. They tend to look down on the chromatic ones. They seem to think they're better than the chromatics.
Yeah, they're the diplomatic ones.
So Jack Nemo's going down the stairs and will examine the dragon to see if he can say.
Halbricks will join him.
Okay, so as Dracnomir goes down, I will give him a perception check.
Uh, 22.
22.
Slightly worse than my passive.
So, just as you're about to put your foot down, you notice that there are pressure plates down here as well.
I'm just going to assume pressure plates everywhere.
Not as many, but the dragon is currently sitting on one of them, and there's a couple of other ones in the room.
Which explains what happened to him.
Well, possibly, but then how did he
Possibly.
get down here without... like, he obviously came from the other direction because he's never doing any trail.
What was your question?
Do I notice, or does anyone tell me about this pressure plate?
Yeah, there's Jack Nemo will certainly stop Calquicks from stepping on the...
I cast a
steps,
sphere
or stepping on the
of
stone to
dragon,
the
so I
bottom.
can go down with the dragon?
Possibly,
How
but he
far
can't touch
away
it
is
if
the
you do.
dragon
Okay, alright.
from our location, bottom of the steps then.
Okay, so at the bottom of the steps, he's about 10 feet away.
Okay. Can I see if it's breathing?
It does seem to be breathing.
Okay. I will call out in Draconic. Are you awake? Can we assist you?
It does not respond. Doesn't even twitch.
Do something about that.
I will aim to disable the pressure plates to get to the dragon.
Though you do think you can move around them without setting them off.
Oh, okay, so it's not like they're all over the place this time?
Unlike the corridor, these ones seem to have a pattern.
Useful.
As Dracula will go forward to actually try and look at the dragon.
Okay, give me a medicine roll. Okay, looking at it, it appears to be sleep toxin darts.
So curing's not going to be useful.
I will remove the darts to start with.
And these darts do remind you of traps that the Atruaghin make in their holy places.
Yeah, that's certainly.
Right.
It's going through my head already, yes.
Well, it's the sort of things that never need to be reapplied. Once it's on the dart, it's there until it strikes someone.
And I'll look around to see if I can get any indication as to exactly how the dragon got into this room.
You think he came down the stairs, though he may have glided more than...
flying through the corridor. Yep.
Do you think the archaeologist may have used him for assistance to get over the pressure plates in the previous corridor?
There's definitely a male dragon.
Doesn't look like a
It's more the archaeologist than we're told about.
What gender is the dragon?
I was going to say,
He's
Give me an
Archaeologist-
arcana roll.
I'm actually asking the dragon.
The dragon knows
Oh,
it's
me?
female.
I don't think
It's a
I-
female dragon.
Yeah,
So it could
female.
potentially be the archaeologist.
Yes.
That's what
Potentially
Dracula was thinking.
archaeologist.
Yes.
Archaeology is not necessarily a career path all dragons will take, but I assume some might take archaeology.
And Dracula make an assessment on how long the sleeping toxin is likely to last for.
Now that it's removed, maybe an hour or so. Normally, it's while it's still in there, it keeps it potent.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And also attempt the idea, okay, he'll give the dragon a couple slaps saying, wake up, come on, time to wake up, on the idea that, hey, often a sleep effect.
Having a look at the darts and the remnants of what's on them, using my tool skills, would heal or alchemy be useful for shortening the remaining effect time?
Alchemy is always useful.
Yes. I was thinking, it's going to be one of those. So that's it's an int check. No, it's a heal check or int check?
In check, making an in check.
Just an int check. Yeah, I can't remember what the thing is, but yeah, it's a stat check. So
I will
which
because we can't get past these traps ourselves.
Making sure you don't set off the traps.
Yeah.
Because if the dragon wakes up, the dragon may set off the traps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad.
While they're doing this stuff around, I'm going to disable them.
Okay, question. Do I get the proficiency bonus
Yes.
on trained?
I'll give you a proficiency bonus on this.
Brilliance. Because that takes it to 25.
Sweating for
Okay, so yes, you see the dragon start to wake up with the very wide pupils, making you think he's high on something at the moment, or she's high on something.
As soon as it starts moving, or she starts moving, Dracula will say, don't stay still. Wake up, but stay still, don't move.
Yes.
And so, what was your 13? Okay, so you go down there and start trying to disable the trap while everyone else is busy.
Well, I'll be waiting for the traps to be disabled, otherwise I'll set them off.
And ting!
Uh-oh.
Give me that's an attack roll on my side, actually. So, apparently it misses as it hits armor class 13.
It's probably stuck in
Close.
somewhere else.
So you go, as you get up, you realize that there is a bit of stone stuck in your belt pouch.
Let's go for the statues.
Yeah.
No, it's another dart.
Oh, okay.
You got shot in the belt pouch, right where it hurts.
Just one part. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
But hey, you don't think there's any more of them?
Well, I just want the sound because you didn't want the dragon accidentally triggering him.
He sort of sounds like he's very doped up, going, "What happened?" She.
Face down. Don't move.
You hit a trap, and you got stung by 2 of these. I hold one of them up.
I offer her one of my Mickey healthy cookies. That also tastes like chocolate chip cookie.
Quite happily munches away on the cookie.
I know they effectively in the game don't do a whole lot, but it's nice to have.
Better than not doing anything at all.
And she seems quite happy munching on the cookie.
Martin says as I get into higher levels, he might look at applying stats to it because they're a unique item. Applying stats to it is something you don't want to do until I'm high enough for it to be worthwhile.
Yes.
So looking around, is Dracnima and Tolicus confident that the traps are no longer effective?
In this room, you believe there are 3 exit points, and each one of them seems to have been activated.
Yeah, so the Tyranny trap, this room should be safe from traps right now. Dracnima will go and investigate where the darks come out, just to confirm they're not going to automatically reload and things like that.
I asked the
Yes.
dragon her name.
She shakes her head, trying to remember what it was.
Do you need me to make up a name?
Do you want to make it?
Call her Delia. There you go.
Delia?
Yeah. Why
Dragon
not?
with dragon face. The naming process I use for things here in Canberra.
Sorry, what's that?
Dragon with dragon face.
Yeah, no. I'm not quite as bad as that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, can I change that to Dahlia? I like it.
You're on colour to be Dahlia.
So,
Black dragon.
I'll interrupt a little bit. So, Tolkis and Dracman have checked the other traps, and you're saying it looks as if the 3 plates that are next to the exits look as if they've already been triggered before we came in, or because we came in.
Because you came in.
Okay.
Trollish is triggered the 3rd one.
Okay.
There are 3 traps, the dragon triggered 2 and Tolicus triggered the 3rd.
Okay, gotcha.
And there is a long passageway
And they're not automatically reloading.
heading off from this room into darkness. Dim light then.
So
darkness.
it's the one entrance in which we came in. There's
Stairwell
one-
going down, and then one passageway heading off.
Gotcha. Okay.
Lots of murals along the passageway.
Can I see if any they look similar to the murals I've seen, like in the undergrounds of Yawning? Are there any
They do seem very
similar
similar.
themes?
They do seem very similar, except it's more of scenic of forests and wooden constructions.
Shalcrick's got a lot of drawings in her journal, so she might pull out a few sketches, do a few sketches here for comparison as well, to add to her journal.
Yeah.
Can I tell what any of them might mean, or is it just really pictures?
Seems to be funeral rites.
Okay. That happens a lot down here, so I'm not surprised.
And a lot of depictions of physical sports.
Well, I'll sketch anything that looks like it might be a bit more significant. And yes, Eve has her own little sketch pad. Just in case you're wondering.
Okay. While the dragon is still possibly a little bit dopey, would be a good time to talk to it.
Yep. So, Dahlia asks what
You have a name?
this Dahlia.
Yeah, I already asked it, Dahlia.
Okay. And your presence here?
I was assisting Mistress in finding her way through these traps. Didn't do so well here.
Mistress left you behind?
Must
Captain will go forward and see if you can pick up evidence of her footprints.
There are no footsteps heading further in.
Which one of the traps did Tolkis undo? The stairway one or the hallway one?
There were none in the hallway, so there could be more down this hallway. But the ones in the room at the bottom of the stairs have all been disabled. So there's like an antechamber, and that heads off down to whatever actual main chamber is.
That's the way Mistress went.
And the dragon doesn't know. Dahlia doesn't know. Dahlia came in first, and that's the last thing he remembers.
Okay. Has she been working with Mistress for more?
Many years.
And Mistress is left behind.
I doubt the Mistress has just left her behind, so we might need to try and find the Mistress. You don't leave a bronze dragon behind if you've been working with one for many years, unless you think it might be dead and you can't resurrect it.
But you got to remember, she probably worked on the idea of Dahlia the dragon had been hit by a sleeping toxin. She wasn't going anywhere, she'd be fine for another however long.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, she was
that's not much use in the meantime, so
Yeah, maybe.
she's probably gone ahead thinking I'll come back and collect them.
Well, the slight flaw in that is that she was using the dragon to go ahead of her to get the traps, so she's not going to venture too far without the dragon because she was obviously worried enough to get a dragon to help her.
How about I don't pass it out around you guys?
Yeah.
So
I
she
would
might
Have you
be
been-
there, well,
Have you been working with the Mistress for long?
a few years, she said.
Yeah, a few years with her other trap finders.
Can I
Oh,
some
okay.
sort of
Finders.
detect magic person just
Yeah,
in case
more
the
of you?
Mistress is hiding herself?
Okay, you
Nearby.
cast Detect Magic.
Yep.
I believe you can do that as a cantrip.
I can.
So yes, you do that, and you don't detect any
I don't.
magic nearby.
Yep, and I can't sense anybody around.
Dahlia said something interesting, is saying that the mistress has other trap finders, and so I believe Dracula asked how many other trap finders there
Yeah.
are.
Sorry, thank you.
Two others
Okay.
that he knows of, or she knows of.
Are they also?
Right.
But none of you left any tracks or evidence leading up to the doorway and or within the corridor. Is she called upon you at need?
Some she calls upon at need. Others have learnt not to leave traps. Not always one to be followed. And less tracks left, the less people know where to find us.
Okay, we're here actually to aid the mistress, and as she's been missing for some time, so. Yeah, because effectively do we have the indication that she was part of Venturian's team in some way, or?
You have a feeling he was one of her agents, not specifically one of the teams going around doing stuff, but one of the information gatherers that had sent
okay.
out.
So, but the point being that if we were later on soldiers also working with Venturian, it would be okay, but probably not with saying it to Dahlia, because she probably doesn't know enough. We will be going on to try and chase up with your mistress. You may find it worthwhile to return to the surface and recover properly, or you can come with us.
I am happy to help where I can.
I'll give her some
Dahlia
coffee.
says.
That might help her wake up a bit.
Has that look of coffee? Apparently goes from half dopey to instantly awake at the thought of coffee.
Brenda Waffle will hand over a flask of coffee.
Now, chemically altered and upgraded coffee. Now that would be cool.
Yeah, it is, but Martin hasn't put specific stats on it.
Yes.
Because Calcrix knows a druid and a alchemist. So
Right.
they developed a special brew together. And they're some of the people she pen pals with. So it's the one way she
Oh.
gets information and supplies.
Hmm.
Along with
Right.
her.
You rise to reach an instant state of mood.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much. Yeah.
Yes. Whereas Lull would possibly know, actually does know someone who might be able to make good, effective, useful coffee made out of mushrooms.
Yeah, Drazzle. Where is Drazzle, by the way?
No. Well, Big Basil, but his girlfriend.
Oh,
girlfriend's a druid.
Yeah.
Yeah, his girlfriend's a druid. So.
He's still out the side waiting for people to say it's okay to come in.
Okay.
He's not the sort that sticks his head into traps.
I might go back and get Drazzle, or send Brenda Waffle back if I feel that's safe.
Yeah.
Jack Immo's indicating to Tolicus we need to move forward.
Okay.
What time are you finishing up tonight, by the way?
So as you walk down
Say
the
that
passageway, give me a perception roll.
I'm assuming we're returning back to the original plan of
Tolicus.
marching order that Tolicus is 20 or so feet in front of
Yeah.
Jack Immo and
Okay.
Arnie.
And I'm sorry, I might have missed this. Which way are we going
16.
down?
16. Okay, you.
Whichever way people tell me.
As you move down the passageway, you don't find any more traps, and you reach what appears to be a gated chamber. So
Down the stairs.
down the passageway. So
The dark
so,
passageway.
So you've got the corridor that comes in. You've got the two passageways down the side. You went down the side, down the
Yeah.
right one where the dragon is, and there's a passageway heading off that. And he's just gone down that
So Dragon's
passageway.
in it if you
So
try
we continue down the pathway, although we're not actually immediately following tracks of the archaeologist at this time.
I think I got
There are
it.
no traps coming.
Immo is watching on the ground as we're going along. He's watching to see if he can pick up tracks again.
Okay, and down here you see what appears to be a funeral gate with what looks like a giant naga on the front of it that is moving and looking directly at you.
Looks a little worried.
And how does Tolicus act?
What do you mean?
What do you do? This what appears to be a giant naga is looking at you from the guardian door.
Let's show Equus. Well, obviously they've seen me. So hiding's probably not going to be here. So I'm going to open palm, show.
I'm find my bedroom because it's here. You need to take that now. It's just to be positive.
So you're just basically being like, okay,
Hands
we're
down,
good.
like chain piece, like
Yeah,
no
yeah.
aggression.
No weapons.
They did start stealthing, so I wasn't.
And if he stand within that, can Jack Immo see the naga ahead?
He can see the naga ahead, and he sees as it attacks Tolicus, as Tolicus holds his hands up. Getting an armor class 18, dealing 8 piercing damage.
Nagas are traditionally guardians of tombs. You're down in the wrong place.
Yeah, you know, it's coming back at it.
With a con saving throw.
No, that's actually quite good. Con saving throw of 16.
So you take 22 points of poison damage as well.
What was the initial damage?
Initial damage was 8 piercing.
8 piercing and 22 poison.
Yep. And you use your reaction?
Yeah. Damn it. I was trying not to start a fight. Natural 20.
Yeah, it's a Naga. I don't think you get a choice.
So,
Okay.
give me damage.
Alright, okay, so what's the double for the critical?
Just roll the damage normally and then double it.
Okay, so
It's so simple
7
that way.
dice for the sneak attack. So that's what we worked out before, wasn't it? Yeah. So that is 9, 10, 15, 18. And the sword was 3D, 3 dice, was it?
3 dice, yes.
So that was 18. 10, no, 10, so it's 28 plus 3, plus 8, sorry, 36.
36. Okay.
And that's not doubling, that's just the sneak attack and the...
That's not doubling, that's before doubling?
Yeah.
So after doubling, that would be 72.
72 damage.
It's called critical sneak attack.
Yep.
And you think you may have just taken it over its half hit points?
Oh my gosh.
Might be a very short fight.
So it blood sprays everywhere.
Okay. So at this point, I will ask for initiative from anyone who wants to participate.
22.
24.
You mean you got the option of not participating?
You do.
17 for
Eight.
Yeah, you can all just sit around and watch me die.
Okay, so what was Lani's initiative?
22.
What was Tolicus's initiative?
24.
What was Luell's initiative?
8.
What was Drachnimir's initiative?
17.
And what was Calcrick's initiative?
15.
Okay, so looks like Tolicus is on the ball right now.
Alright.
What would Tolicus like to do?
Bonus action. The inside versus hits the seat to see if I can get enough sneak attack on it. Oh, what's that? 14.
It is not deceived.
What a surprise. He's going to bash it down.
Yeah, you just stabbed it. I don't think it's a surprise.
Stabby, stabby.
That's a 15.
That's a 15. Clang.
Yeah.
Okay, Lani's now up.
I said I had my sunblade out earlier.
Yes, you did.
Grab that real quick.
Lighting up the artwork on the hallway.
I actually designed my rogue very badly for inquisitive because my insight's not as good as it should be.
Where's the sunblade? I have expertise in longswords, yeah? Or did I have master?
I can't remember,
I
sorry. It
can't
would be
remember.
expertise, I think.
You will go off with expertise. So, sorry, I just haven't done 1d8, so that makes it 3d8 with that. So I will try to hit it with the. Thank God I have it's not gonna make it though. That'd be 11 to hit.
Okay, on an 11 it misses.
This is completely.
The best thing is now,
It's like, oh, I'm not used to holding on to things.
because you're engaged in combat with it, it means I can now sneak attack it.
Yeah. And then I will go ahead and try to hit again, I guess.
Okay.
That's a nat one.
A natural one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you seem to, swing a little wide.
Yeah.
Give me another attack roll and see how well you strike out at Autolycus.
Oh dear.
I am so sorry. That is a. Oh, it's a 16. Does it make it?
16 doesn't make it. This blade of flame just goes right past your face.
Yeah, but he's what he does. He's my reaction to sneak attack you.
It's like, hey!
Technically, you can.
Oh, goodness.
She didn't hit me.
Okay.
Wow, I am not.
Then it is Drachnomir's turn. You're also in the painted corridor.
Yep, and obviously I'm about 20 feet away from the Naga. I'm assuming that...
I will give you an insight roll to start with,
The insight roll.
because this relates to your people.
Yep, 23.
The artwork in the corridor is extremely important.
The artwork that I've been
That's
sketching.
all you know.
Basically, Autolycus had failed the test.
Yeah, well, okay. Given already looked at the idea that Nagas are guardians of the dead. You've already recognised that it doesn't want to get that right, but
Yes.
at this point he'll be attempting to put the guardian down, so then we can actually deal with going on.
Okay.
So he will use a bonus action to not move and take a steady aim, and AC 25.
That's a hit.
Uh, 30 points of non-magical pierce damage.
30 points does hit it quite well. You have a second shot?
No.
Okay, so then that brings us to Drazzle, who's commenting on all these feats of strength and dexterity on the walls. As it's now Calcrix's go.
Do I take any of what Dressel is saying about feats of dexterity and strength?
You think that Autolycus failed to display any feats of strength or agility in front of the Guardian, and basically triggered its retribution.
I gather it's too late now,
So it was the.
but
She's not violent.
Calcrix does have
So she's on
a number of
backflip or
attacks
something.
available to her that might demonstrate strengths.
Well, you think it's a bit late. It's been
I was gonna say,
late?
triggered. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna go for can I use lethal claws in this circumstance?
You can always use lethal claws.
It just says it's
Lethal
just
claws
got
means it
extra
does more damage.
Note down under it saying lethal claws in italics, and I'm like,
Lethal claws is one of the things that grants that ability.
yeah. So I'll do my claw attack using lethal claws, which is 3d8.
You've got to hit first.
Yes, sorry. I'm ahead of myself.
I believe is just trying to figure it out.
Is there room for 3 attackers upon the Naga in the
It
corridor?
is a large creature in the sense of the corridor opens into a room where there's a chamber inside the room, and the Guardian is on that chamber door.
I
So
have changed my size.
You're still.
if you change your size, you won't fit.
Fit. Okay, that's fine.
So yes, it's so it's +9 to hit. So the whole point of lethal claws is it says it means your attacks are considered magical.
Okay.
It's just the special effects of the thing. So you always do claw attack.
Yeah. So I was
Just +9.
nothing fancy, just d20 plus 9. Tiny little dice. 26.
26 is a hit.
And then it's 3d8. So I just had my d8. I put them away. There's 1d8. There's the other. So let's send 3d8. plus 1 is
15, yes. And you can actually make another attack.
So, roll the d20 again.
Yep. That's also another hit, so you do another 3d8.
Is 4, 5, 6.
So a total of 6.
Yeah.
And as a bonus action, you can make another attack, but you don't get the +1 to the damage. Because the claw counts as a light weapon.
Oh, this one might hit. 15.
15 is a miss. But hey, you got in all 3 attacks.
Yeah, I did scratchy.
And then you can jump back so other people can move in.
I will jump back with flair, just on the off chance, because Calbrix is still a young dragon. So maybe it's not too late to impress.
Lull is up.
Right. Sorry. What useful target is there now? We've been sort of whacking it a bit.
Well, you can see the Guardian Naga in front of the door.
Still being right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. All right. Eldritch Blast. 3 shots as normal.
Okay.
For some reason, I think of that big robot monster in one of the Thor movies that opens up this big bam. You know, that big laser whenever I hear Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, 20 for
20 is a hit.
For 10 points.
And the Naga seems to fall back into the door.
Okay. So I will hold off on the other hits.
Could I have used Luck of Chaos on that last roll?
Which does?
It says here, once per long rest, you re-roll 1d20 roll, even after finding out the result of the roll, keeping the new roll even if it's worse.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Things I need to remember when I'm rolling. I need like a little checklist.
Yes, you have managed to defeat that Guardian. This time.
Oh, good.
Jack will then point out the images that indicate that the Guardian Naga potentially was looking for feats of dexterity or strength.
Awesome.
Yeah, I dexterously hit it very hard with force bolts.
He was talking to Autolycus. So, standing back with your hands raised is not the appropriate response.
No. Yeah, that would actually be the
Well,
opposite.
I was too busy looking for traps rather than looking for
Ooh, it taken
looking
by
at the pictures.
surprise.
And I think, considering the time, that might be a good place for us to stop, as you're facing one of the burial chambers.
One off.
Sounds like there'll be a lot down here though.
So, just to give you some idea, before next session, you came in here and down there.
Oh, right,
Makes
okay.
sense. Yep.
So,
And we've almost finished.
Are those two connecting that square with that column, or do we have to go back to the middle and back
well, you
out?
have to go back to the middle.
Back out. Okay. So there's a few dead ends in there as well.
I mean, presumably...
Well, that's where the dead go. That's why it's a dead end.
Yeah.
There'll be a tomb down each corridor type stuff.
Yeah, that makes
That would
sense.
be the that would be the logical, but that's not.
In most cases, you don't generally branch off from burial chambers.
We just have to remember to look at the pictures in all of the corridors.
Yeah,
that would
pictures
be
are
nice to
helpful. Read the instructions. It's great.
Because I could have done a backflip or something dexterous.
Yeah, agility, yeah.
I've got.
And as I
do
said, if you had a backflip away from it instead of just holding your hands up, you probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
Assuming he got the enough skill shown with the ability for it to go, okay, you've shown me a decent feat of skill.
So what you're saying is if I just
Sorry.
like do like a small jump off of the wall and say parkour, that's not enough?
If you do it with enough skill, it is.
I think it
You're
depends
gonna
on
make
your
it.
performance.
You're gonna make it like four or something.
You could make it in the sense of, you might not make it on the athletic side of the house, but if you make the performance roll,
But like, what if it's like a 4-year-old being like, "Hey mom, look what I can do," and then like just spins real fast?
Well, Fabrics does have like the Puss in Boots eyes option.
If you roll
So sometimes
really,
you just
really
have
well
to
at it, if you do the spins place and you roll like really well, like you did really dexterously. But if you roll like a 1 or something,
Just doesn't. So nobody was adventurous enough to try yellow watermelon?
so
Really?
I don't
It's
know.
not that frightening. If you like watermelon, it tastes very
I've
sweet.
So
already
I'm going to put it to end
Yes, I was
credits
gonna say,
online for you guys.
All good?
So
Thank you.
thank you
Thank you,
very
guys.
much. If you want to chat afterwards, you can for a little bit. But I thought I'd go to end credits before.
Yeah. For
I'm
I
going to get myself off
people
the
that
bed.
not trying
Thank
to
you very much,
go
all.
on.
Have a
All
good
good.
night.
Have a good night.
I'm used to growing up. We got through.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Late. Yeah. Later.